What the fuck is up, everybody? It's your boy Damien here, Pile Up Podcast, episode, holy fuck, I think we're on like 14, which is absolutely crazy. Time is flying. Today's episode's pretty special. We have our first time solo guest. So the way this is going to work is this is the whole episode based around our solo guest. He's going to hang out with us, shoot the shit. We're going to ask him a bunch of questions. You know how podcasts work. So the other really exciting part about today's podcast is that it is going to be available on all streaming platforms as soon as we are done recording. And by that, I mean it might take a little bit of time because I have to upload it. But at least we're going to finally have audio podcasts out there in the world. So you might be listening to this right now on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on whatever streaming platform. I don't even know. You might be in a dolphin's blowhole with your ear to the fucking wind. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't fucking know. But you're going to be listening to it. Hopefully you're going to be listening to it. And if you're not, you're watching it on YouTube with us, and you're live with us, right now, which is even cooler. So I'm going to bring in the good old co-hosts, and we have our standard issue Chad. He doesn't break down doors like he should, but he is still a flame in my heart, and my right-hand man, Mr. Chad Chimahowski.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you, buddy?
I'm not bad. I'm getting pretty stoked because as I did the intro, I started to think about the seriousness of the expansion of the podcast. You know what I mean? Like that's
the
implications. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna keep acting tough. No, I'm just super stoked. So yeah, how was your day?
Pretty boring actually. Didn't do a whole lot. Saw some really fucking cool cars at work though. We have some very expensive Porsches at work right now. I don't know if you know what a Singer is, but we have 4 of them, and they're all like 1.5 mil, and they're all for sale. So if anybody's listening wants a really cool Porsche and has money, I got you.
Nice. All right, I'll be over. I drove my poor man's Porsche today. That was kind of fun. No, that's fucking rad. So I'm glad you had a good day. Whoa.
Yep, still intact.
Intact. So let me introduce the next wild man. He is a international superstar in the ways of wearing shorts, or jorts as he called them. And his videos are going viral and his butt cheeks are stale. But we still love him, Mr. James in the Giant Peach, the tired one.
I don't know what that means. Hi.
I don't know either. I wing absolutely everything.
I have about 30 cents, so I'd like to come buy one of those Porsches.
Hell yeah.
You know what? We got you. There's a Porsche for that,
Awesome.
There's a Porsche for everybody.
Yep. Even for the poors.
I'm on my way.
Nice. How was your day today, buddy?
Oh,
you just got done with work.
I just got done with work.
Ugh.
I just got a shower, and here we are.
Yeah, I was very impressed because we were just backstage and you're like, I'm going to grab a shower. And you were like right on time. Like I played the intro and I saw the camera, you popped up and I was like, holy fuck, dude. Like good for you.
I got back in front of my laptop and it's like live. I'm like, all right.
It's time.
Perfect timing, really.
Perfect timing. So today we have a very special guest. He is a friend of all of ours, and the funny thing is I actually was introduced to him by you, James. I met him through you. Chad, how did you meet Juan?
Actually probably through James,
yeah.
To be honest. I think I met Juan over a call at the garage one time when me and James were up there, and he like FaceTimes Juan. He's like, yo, this is my boy Juan. He's also a Lo guy. And I was like, oh hey, what's up?
Funny.
And that's the first time I ever actually like met him.
Yeah. That was my introduction, was through you, just being, your friends and being a Lo boy. So yeah, I'd like to bring Mr. Juan Lo, aka Migo, aka Mr. Best Hugs in the fucking world, Mr. Positive. Oh God, look, he's just adorable, Mr. Juan. What is up, my guy?
Wait, you can hear me, right?
We can. Welcome to the podcast.
Yo.
So today, well, first of all, how are you?
Good, dude.
Yeah? Was your day good?
Yeah, I had a good day. I went skating before work to try to do some exercise.
Oh, sick.
Pretty nice, dude. Start the day right. Yeah, they're pretty pumped. I'm on I'm on TV.
Mama, I'm on TV. No, that's awesome. You made
Pleasure
it,
to have you, buddy.
You made it. Yeah, it is a pleasure. This is our first one, so I'm really excited. It's going to be something, not a learning curve, because realistically, like, we've done these before. Like, I've done these before, and actually these guys over here did them with me, so we kind of know what we're doing. But it's just exciting to take the Pilot podcast from a visual. James shaking his head. Yeah, we don't ever actually know what we're doing, but
not really.
To take our more, I guess, TV based, I would say, like an entertainment visual podcast, and turn it into, you know, one that somebody could listen to on the long drive to an event or just in their shop or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. And Tyler's saying James is a little quiet.
So I just pushed the auto adjust button. And so I don't know if it changed anything. I don't know how to do computers.
James, you don't do computers, right?
Exactly.
That's true.
Juan does computers.
No, dude, that is not true, man. You out of everybody, you know that I don't do the computers.
What is up, Steve? So the cool part is this is also still live. So we're going to be doing this. If you're listening at home and you're only listening, there's going to be a few things, not a lot, that we're going to be, you know, showing and talking about, but we'll make sure that we're very descriptive. And if you, of course, want to check it out, make sure you jump onto our YouTube channel and watch it, you know, so it may be worth it. I mean, you're not going to probably do listen to, I don't know, either way, you'll figure the fuck out. Yeah. But we got a bunch of people in the chat already, which is rad. We got 28 people, and we're just starting. We got Nico, what is up? I like that he was waiting. He was just waiting.
Yep.
Dude, Nico has a way with words, dude.
He's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
He is an amazing guy. I'd like to, I mean, we're going to start having a bunch of these. So I want to like literally just keep going through guest and guest. Albert, I want to get on, you know, Tyler, just absolutely everybody. I like Sabotage Tyler saying, somebody tell Juan he's using the wrong mic input. Don't mess with him. Everything's working. Let's keep it this way. He's just fucking with you. He's just fucking with you.
Leave it to Savvy T.
They're trying to sabotage you.
Yeah. Hey-oh. That's funny. So Juan, I'd like to jump into some stuff. So one, I already kind of went over how I met you. I don't know how James actually met you. So let's go over that. Internet. So
it was the internet, right? But it's funny because you guys were both like, we met Juan through you, but I think like in a roundabout sort of way, I met Juan through Damien.
What?
Because like Team Vibes, like volume, like the first one.
Oh.
Team Vibes. I just remember walking through the pits, and there's this fucking hatch. It's dumped. This car is jacked up, and it's still tucking a 17-inch rim, and I'm like, what the fuck? That shit is sweet. And then the internet, but
wow, okay. That's pretty cool the way that works.
The car pink, that event, right?
Yep. Yeah. It was the second one or the first one? Second one or first one?
The very first one.
So then they were pink. Cars were pink.
You had a Z.
I had a Z at the time. Yep. That was the first time me and Rich Whiteman ever drove together too.
Oh, word.
That's crazy.
Yep. Besides on the sim, we simmed together a shit ton, and then it was wild because our very first lap, I literally forgot that that's our first time driving together because it just felt like the sim. You know what I mean? Because 350Zs are a fucking cheater, so it just feels like a simulator anyway. But yeah, that's cool. No shit. James, you were still brown car? No. You were like maroon. That was pre.
It might have been pink at the time, but like car wasn't there.
Yeah, car wasn't there. That's right. Yeah. And then the next one, I don't remember.
I didn't. I don't think I drove Vibe till moved up to Erie.
Yeah, that's true.
I was there for the first two.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how many we did down there, but yeah.
No shit. Juan, what what team were you on back then, or did we have you come in solo?
I was like a guest.
Yeah.
Top shelf.
Got you. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. No shit.
A red, Alex's red hatch, and there was a coupe for the S14 SR, and the other one was S14 JZ car. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so cool. Somebody in the chat saying first time I saw Juan was at Vibes also. That's pretty cool.
Vibes is just that good.
Vibes is very good. Cool. So Juan, I want to get into some stuff, man. I want to know your history. So first of all, you're currently known for having an insanely low slammed hatch. But what is your actual like car history? Like what got you into cars? And then a quick like summary of what you did growing up from the time you started driving till now.
So I got into cars with like my pops, right? He's into car stuff, and I actually wanted to get like as my first car, right? I wanted to have something tight, and there was a whole bunch of different options and whatnot, like Corollas, and I looked at an RSX and stuff like that, and there was this forum, dude. There was like a forum. It was called MA240SX.net. It was like Mid-Atlantic people.
Okay.
Who were into the 240 thing. And like, I joined this forum because I like one of the cars that piqued my interest was 240. And, I liked forums from even before stuff. Like all my hobbies involved some kind of like a forum. So I thought forums were tight. And I was like, oh shit, there's a forum for the car. I was like, this has got to be the car. It has a forum, dude. There's a forum for the car. So I joined the forum, and it's like, I'd always been, when you're used to a forum, you're talking like people all over the whole world. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And this was wild because it was like in the forum, they were talking about stuff that's like local to me. I'm like, this is crazy. So the forum had me hyped. There was a bunch of local cats, and I couldn't find a car. I was like looking for months. I couldn't find a 240 SX. And I realized that like it's because all these fucking dudes have them all. Just like community of people like just like hoarding all the cars. Shit. So I got into it because of the forum, and then I got a coupe, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I'm on the forum, just like forming around, just trying to figure out how to work on cars because I don't know how to do it. You just figure it out, right? And so, so I got this coupe. I still have it. I didn't get rid of it. I still have this coupe. It's just it's that one that I did the engine bay, the shave on the bay that was like on the rotisserie. I still have it. It's in a million pieces now, of course. But I was like, I don't want to ruin this car because it's a coupe. I thought coupes were the shit. I still do. I got hatch and I got coupe. They're both sweet. I have
James shaking his head over there.
Yeah, I like the coupe. Coupe is shit. It's one of those incredibly divisive things in S chassis. People like, coupes, hatches. Yeah, I'm a coupe person. And I didn't want to smoke the coupe drifting, so I was like, I'll smoke a hatch. So then I found a hatch. A couple of years later, I got it in Baltimore. I actually sent you a photo of it when I first picked it up. It was like it was the old granny champagne color. You know what I'm talking about? It was a champagne joint, and so my pops and I picked up the coupe in Baltimore. There was like a whole bunch of wild stuff that was happening while we were picking it up. So my pops were trying to hightail it out of here. He's like, "What are these cars getting into, man? Why are they always got these weird deals?" When we were picking up the coupe, my pops and I went to do it, and he is not a beginner to buying shit. He loves buying junk, which is a pride. He passed it down to me. So I'm a junk collector. I love junk. So he went to buy that car with me, and when we went to buy it, we were getting it at a gas station, right? And it was like a gas station mechanic type situation that they had. And when I looked through the papers that they showed me, it was a dude who had dropped off the car for like a brake job and he couldn't pay for it. He's like, just take this thing.
Oh yeah.
So they took the car.
Sick.
It was so strange. When I went to sign the title, dude, this woman was like signing the title with her left hand. Now, the way she was writing, dude, I know you are not left-handed. You're not left-handed.
Some shady shit going on.
That's what I'm talking about. She was like chicken scratching into this thing. Like she was really
what the hell?
And I, man, I see papers next to you. You signed these joints. You wrote it on me and whatnot. Why are you signing it with your left hand? And I showed my dad. And he was like, man, this looks forged, dude.
Yeah.
This is not gonna buy at the DMV. They are not going to accept this. So
it was stolen.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. But the paperwork all lined up,
Okay,
Like,
good.
it was all lined up with like the registration and the previous owner, and the title was in, like, it was all like legit.
Yeah.
You know, dude, I was a young kid. I don't fucking know.
You just want the car. Like, you're just like, yeah, get this over with. I want the fucking car.
Exactly. And my dad wanted to leave, bro. He was trying to dip. And so, yeah, I was pretty young. And that was his first exposure to, 240SX community. And then the one in Baltimore was probably worse. There was like fights occurring in the compound and whatnot, dude. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Baltimore's wild.
And I just learned how to do all this stuff on it, like just all the basic shit, like car things, fixing things, and I did the shave bay on it and blah blah blah. It's so I could, I don't know how in depth you want me to go, bro, because I have memory of my car here because of the blog.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna go over that then too. I'd like to promote the blog. You know what I mean? Promote everything for you too. But so you haven't owned many cars.
No, I don't.
Wow.
The cars that I get rid of is definitely like my daily driver. So my first car ever was a 1985 W201, those boxy Mercedes joints. And the funny thing about it is it was a diesel, dude.
Sick.
My first car was a diesel. Can you imagine my ass, like 17 years old, rolling up to the high school and the diesel just like,
Was it like dumped too, or was it?
So, yeah, I actually lowered it a good bit, and I had it on some. Do you know about y'all know about the foreigns? I know y'all know about them. So they came with the staggered rims, like the AMGs, right? They had the wides in the rear and the skinnies in the front. And so I like them the same. It's got to be the same. It's got to look cool up front too. So I ended up finding some AMG Aero 2 monoblocks, rear pairs. So I had a full set of them. It was lowered. It wasn't too low. I actually learned to kind of drift in that car, I guess, in the rain. It was like an open diff, and it was a 2-liter diesel. It was a gray market car. So like it came from Europe, Germany, I guess. I bought it off my family friend who was like moving or some shit, and it was like a 4-speed diesel. It was funny, dude. When I put my friends in it and shit, it would just like sit, and I could hear the bump stops just cooking. So yeah, it got rear-ended. Yeah, exactly, just crushing. So it got rear-ended. Then some like old dude bought it. It was like smoked. I'm like, I don't want to sell yours, dude. Take it.
Yeah.
And then I have my Honda, my old Honda, my Civic. That's what I daily know.
Okay, and that's it. So besides that, and then just the coupe and the. Wow. How can I ask how old you are?
30.
Okay. Yeah. No shit.
I have a coupe at my boy Nick's house, so there's not a coupe there.
Yeah. Jeez, that's cool, man. I feel like I've had so many fucking cars, but I keep forgetting how old I am. And I was just going through them. Yeah, I'm just super fucking old. So you said dad kind of like got you into cars, right? Yeah. Does he have like a history with like a crazy history? Or just was in.
Yeah, he's into old stuff. He's into old cars, right? He's kind of he's had a lot of cars and stuff. And he used to like Albert. He used to race, like he used to do them vintage races, where like you go like 60% against other. It's kind of like in a car meet show where you drive your cars around the track kind of spiritedly, but it's actually a race. And so he did that. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But he always came in last. He loved it. He would get like laughed out of Porsches and shit, and so he'd just be fun. Yeah, he likes old stuff. I guess the one of the most significant things to say about my pops is that he's always been like a resto dude. Any talk of modification, bro, faux pas. Absolutely not. That is bad, and so I kind of took the car thing that he has in a completely different direction because things aren't cool stock, I guess. So he's been like, you cut the car in half and you did what? So he's the resto guy. All he cares about is going by the book. And I get a lot of things from that too because I like it when things like look nice and new and fresh and shit. So the resto stuff, has been a good influence.
Was that where did he teach you like welding and fabrication and stuff like that, or did you go to school?
No, because he knew like really basic resto stuff, so he didn't do anything super wild. He always had some people that helped him, because he also his back's pretty bad, so he can't do a lot of like super intense stuff. So he'd know like how things need to be done, because he would try and like put his cars together in Colombia to like meet like a judgment specification. So like you have to have like he'd enter them in like old car shows and shit, where you'd have to have like someone would look at your shit and be like, that's like standard bolt, you need a metric bolt here. Like they're that crazy about it. So he knows about all the different specs and how to do it, but he wasn't never a dude who like, used a welder. So all that shit, dude. Internets.
Nice. So you just self-taught. Yeah. That's really cool, man. That's very impressive too, because I went through some of your pictures, and we're gonna put some of that stuff up here, and I want to kind of describe it for the people that are listening. But I did want to talk about that, because like I can't weld for shit. So that's why I literally am like, hey, James, I need all the help in the world. And honestly, it's one of those things where I'm not trying, and I bet you if we yeah, go ahead.
I'll be right back. I got to take something.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing, man. Take a poop.
Door down on the way.
Are you going to kick your door?
He's going to take his door off right now.
Oh, I wish.
Oh shit.
No, it's super cool. I mean, it's crazy because you can literally fucking learn anything on the internet, I feel like. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, like, and I would say that what made me figure that stuff out is see just regular ass people do it. Like the Zilvia build threads, bro. Some guys like, I have 240SX, and he's like, I found this fucking huge rust hole in it, and he's like, how much like, he'd go into because dude, I was the Sylvia stalker, dude. I knew how to navigate all the different chats and profiles. So like you'd see a build thread, dude's posting about like this rust, and he'd go to his chat history and he went, oh, I posted it, they ask a question about how to fix it. And so you go back to that thread, and it's like everyone's telling the guy like, you are going to be looking like $2,000 to cut, weld, epoxy, whatever, this rust.
Right.
I was like, I don't got that money, dude, but I got half that to buy a welder, dude. So like buy the welder, and so you see you're like reading someone's story of them going through the process you're about to go through. Like I learned how to tack weld and do this. I'm like, dude, let's go buy a welder. Let's go do some stuff. And like I feel terrible for any of my friends that have gotten welding work done by me back in the day when I was trying to pay for the welder. I warned y'all. I told you, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to give this my best shot.
That's funny.
Like, that's how it was paid for. I had like a job lined up for a welder I didn't own yet. My boy was like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just like that. I was like, I don't care. I know you suck. Like, just weld this thing for me. And it was like a BMW muffler. He's like, just figure it out. I'll pay for your welding gas and whatever. I'm like, okay, bet. Let's do it, dude. So then, I mean, that's just kind of how I figured it out. You just fail.
Learn by doing. Yeah.
So it sounds like there was a time when you did know how to computer.
No, what are you talking
a lot about forums and shit.
Yeah,
I knew
just searching
about it.
Oh, James, come on. Look, that's the beautiful thing about the internet, dude. Is like, it's one app, bro. You don't need to go clicking on anything. You don't got to go doing all this stuff. You just hop on the browser and dude, like literally everything is at your fingertips.
Yeah.
If I can do all this shit, anybody can do it, dude. You just you're not gonna be just accept you're gonna suck for like a bit, Except it's gonna be tough, but you can figure anything out, dude.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, that's cool.
That's it.
So what really got you into the body / like fabrication part, or is it necessity? Like you needed to do it to save money, or was you were interested in it because you like the idea of making changes or adjustments, things like that? What really like drew you to that? Because you have taken off with that. I mean, like the stuff that you have done is fucking next level, and I can't wait. We're going to show that in just a little bit here, but I want to just keep talking about it. Like, is that just necessity? You needed to do this, or did it turn into a passion? Like, do you actually enjoy doing the stuff now?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, dude. I guess it like, for anybody, James, you get this. Like for anybody that likes low cars, um, you really have that vision, like you start to become not okay with the height. You know what I'm saying? Like you start looking at it in a picture for a certain angle and you're like, man, this part looks too high. And it starts bothering you, dude. It starts like needling at your brain. Like,
Yeah.
that's a problem. And whereas some people are like, okay, I got this thing like touching like a little bit of the rim and the front is flush. I am perfectly okay with that. And I wish I was like that, dude. Like you're just like worry about things that are like more important than this. Like you don't need to you don't need to make this become like your whole project of the car. It's like the height is good, the car drives great, that's fine. You're content with that. But like for me, it was a problem. It just kept being an issue. And so the car got to a height where it was like pretty low. But I couldn't drop the front without having issues. Like I guess it was like, to answer your question, Damien, like yes to everything that you said. Like,
right.
Yes to all of that. Like
Sure.
I could explain like the reasoning for why we did that for all of the things that you just mentioned, right? So it needed to be done because the front subframe was literally wearing out and it was going to split at some point, right? Like it was just smoke. I wasn't worried about the pan because the pan already sat above the duck brake rotor. The pan sat above the subframe, so it was all right.
Right.
But it was starting to become like a kind of a problem. And I couldn't bring the front. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, just keep going, but I have something funny to say. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. You're good. And yeah, I wanted to get the car down. Like I wanted to go down to a 205 in the front to really have that front sit and flush because it's always pretty reverse raked, but it was like extra raked with a 215/40 up front. And so I really wanted to level out the front and bring it down. It'd be cool to get close to tuck and rim up front, but yeah, I just wanted it to go further down. And then I guess the best way to answer your question is you just don't know when to stop, bro.
So that's a good segue. I was going to say from dealing with this fucking guy over here to my left, Mr. James, it almost sounds like a sickness. You guys, and I love both you, but it becomes one of those obsessive, like, and I can literally see it in everything James does. He'll pull the car back in and he's like, we're just at an event. Things are working great. He's finally starting to get the hang of it. And he's like, I don't know. I got to go lower. Like, it's just nonstop. It doesn't fucking stop. And I think it's great because I have always appreciated low cars, you know what I mean? Since I was little too. But it's funny because it sounds like an obsession, like it turned into kind of an obsession, which is cool because honestly, if that's what fuels you guys, you know what I mean? If that's what brings you into this crazy fucking lifestyle, then it's awesome. And if there's a breaking point, I mean, that's the only thing you got to be worried about. Like if it becomes too bad, but no, that was a very good explanation of, I mean, you answered that question great. Hey, Chad, welcome back.
Hey, welcome back to me. Sorry about that.
How you? Is everything okay? Do I need to fight somebody?
Yeah, no, everything's all right.
All
right.
We'll pull up right now, wherever we gotta go.
We'll pull up.
I appreciate that. I really do.
We'll just switch to our phones and just live stream us pulling up on some foods.
Yeah. My mom called me like repeatedly, so I was like, that's never good if she calls me repeatedly.
Family first. Fuck yeah.
So, but everything's fine. We're good.
Yeah. Good. So now, we were talking to Juan about fabrication and just what got him into it and everything, and then we got into the obsessiveness of being low, and I brought up the instances of our very own James and his obsessiveness to being low.
It's the most obsessed, probably.
It's a disease.
CJ just said it in the chat. CJ said it's the flu called Lovid.
Lovid. Oh, I fucking love that. I love that.
We don't make a shot for that.
I'll give you a shot.
Jesus Christ. I did want to ask Juan a question though. I don't know if you touched on it. Your hatch that you have now, is that still the same hatch you got back in Baltimore? Like it's the same car? Damn. That's crazy.
That car was 20. The coupe was 2012, and the hatch was 2015.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
The car has seen some shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, I'll be the first to tell you, the car looks nice on the Instagram and on the Facebook and whatnot, but dude, for anybody who got to look at it closely, you see that there isn't a single panel. Not one panel, dude. Not even the fucking mirrors fit that shit correctly, dude.
No,
that's every single one of us. Like,
I was gonna say.
They look good in pictures. But that's about it.
No,
they're all awful.
We definitely trick a lot of people into thinking our cars are nice. Ours are fucking trash.
But actually, Albert's here, like, saying shut up because his shit is actually good. Like,
yeah.
Our shit is, like, whack. Juan, he puts time into making sure everything lines up.
Juan, you probably just have a high standard, too. So it's very cool to see the difference. Like, and I've been noticing this ever since, like, I don't know, ever since we started really branching out with like the Final Bout stuff and team vibes, like meeting all the other teams and stuff. It's really cool to kind of like see how differently people approach things and what they find acceptable or the levels of things. You know what I mean? So this kind of breaks us into like a style portion, which I wanted to get into anyway. But it is wild because I'll see somebody that's like, oh, my shit's haggard. And I look at it and I'm like, this is a fucking show car, my guy. Like, look at mine. It's spray painted. You know what I mean? But like, so there's always a different standard. So like it's same thing with like people that weld. If they look at like a weld, they'll be like, that's trash, or they'll weld something and say this is trash, and it's like it's gorgeous. But we always critique ourselves so hard. But it's really neat the way that it breaks down into you start to see the different mentalities of everybody's building and the qualities. So with your build and your the attention to detail to making sure that it's, the height it is and all this stuff. What inspirations, what did you like growing up? Where did the low lifestyle first bite you? And what made you want to like just fucking dump them out? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, I'll just admit right now, it wasn't like option magazines. It wasn't like famous, iconic cars. It was like, I think one of the first things was this friend I had. His name was Nick. He had a dumped white hatch, like 205 fronts, 215 rears, and the car was it was on the floor. Like the factory skirts were on the floor. And this is like, I drove with him so much. I hung out with him all the time. It was from my friend Nick. His car was dumped. Everything he had.
That's cool.
Was super low. He had a coupe before that was laid out, and he like, this was a while back. He started building this car like super low. This was probably, I want to say 2015 or 16.
Yeah.
Like he had photos. He had that thing like tucking rim back in like 2014. His prior car. He always had it fitted, and it was actually really interesting. Actually, a connection that I hadn't made until recently. That his inspiration for that was Volkswagens, dude. Because his friend
makes sense. Yeah.
Volkswagens, and he lived up in like northern Maryland, so he was not far from PA, where you guys know, like, oh man, you guys have a bunch of really tight shows up there. And his boy was into Volkswagens, tiny tire, fender on the lip. That's how all the marks. So he was exposed to that, and so he took that and applied it to the S chassis. And I, by proxy, just was always with the dude. So like. And I saw both sides. I saw the high cars and how they drove and whatnot. And he entered comps with it, and he did pretty all right. And he went up against the high cars, and you could see. I mean, I wasn't super well versed in the whole drifting thing back then, but I can make an observation. So I was like, but I'm just hanging out. It just bled through him, and I love the fact that you like can't see under the car when it's drifting. Like that image was just like sick in seeing it. And so, I was scrubbed back then, dude. I had my car on the D-Max coilovers, it was like, it was kind of high, and I was just trying, I'm trying to be like my friend Nick. So like I lowered a bit, and I started to deal with some issues that he had too. And he had the formula figured out with the super short shock body and the 205s up front. He figured out a lot of stuff on his own. He was also a big research dude. But yeah, it was from my friend Nick, right? But then you get to a point where, all right, gotta keep going down, dude.
Yeah. So what is that like? So Is it just become like an obsession? Like, you know, you've reached this level, you look at the car, you're like, yo, this looks sick. But you're like, man, it could be lower. Is that a status thing? Because, I mean, I get it. I see, like, the Dori Dori stuff is, like, one of my favorite events that's in Japan. Like, that's, like, a dream to go see. Like, the stuff that they have over there is absolutely amazing. And the part that blows my mind and makes me more excited is that it's driftable. And that's the one thing that, you know, I want to get into with you. Like, not right now. I want to break into that. But the thing is, you're low, and your obsession with going low is there, but you're still making sure that it's functional. Like, you're still drifting this car. So that's the part to me that's important, because you can slam a car and drive it around a parking lot, and, you know, that's cool and all. But, like, if you're not drifting it, to me, I'm kind of like, that's just a show car, you know? So that obsession with you got your height, your boy Nick inspired you, you get there, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, what's the significance? Is it a disease? Is this an intervention for you and James right now?
if it is, I'm out of here. Like, me and Ron are gonna go have our own podcast somewhere else.
Yeah, dude,
I mean, I get it 100%. I do. I love the look. Like, the first thing I look at when media sends pictures of my car is I look at my fender gap. That's the first thing I look at. And now, granted, I've changed over the years because I'm also getting old. And my front fender wheel gap is not where I'd love it to be, but in the Corolla, it's really hard to do. So, but my rear fitment, that's what gets me excited about looking at my car. I'm like, when it's drifting, it is like they're just touching. You know, and it's beautiful. There's a work of art. But you guys, specifically, both you guys, so like you have the low origin style and like some of the Dori Dori styles where they put fender to lip. You guys are now just going low. Like, wheels are now spaceship inside. You're hoverboarding this stuff. So
unnecessarily low.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, that's what I'm curious about. Is that just something that you want to prove to yourself, or do you really, really like the fact that the car is just on the fucking ground, like as low as it possibly can go? What's the mentality behind that?
So I have a really simple goal with the car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm ever gonna reach it, because I don't think it's possible with what I want to do, but maybe it's more so just how close can I, you know, fly my little spaceship towards that little planet. And having the car as low as I can have it, as I possibly can, but still having it perform as close to a regular car, right? Because when you think about, and that's kind of the premise behind all of this metal work with the body dropping and shit. It's like, if you look at real race cars, you know, like, they're laid the fuck out, dude. They're
sure.
Like, you look at, you know, just a very global example, an F1 car, dude. They're lighting up the track, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They're blasting the ground, and you're like, well, why? Why can, you know? Obviously, it's the answer simple: is the chassis engineered around the height. So the idea is like, okay, well, what if I just try to do the same thing? Like, you know, my version of it, obviously the dollar store version of that shit. Like,
your shit on eBay.
Yeah, I like that.
They're laid out, dude. Those shits are, and like, those people have obviously engineered the suspension of the car to make sure that the car doesn't drop to the point where it's bottoming out, like at the speed that's dangerous as fuck. So they've figured it out, dude. And so I just want to have the car drive as close to a regular drifting car that would be on, like, you know, large tires and suspension travel. But having the car as low as you can. And dude, once you, like, James, you probably know this, once you pick up an angle grinder, dude, in a welder,
shit's over. It's done.
It's over. You've just been given, like, you know, like, the tools, bro. Like, you've been given the solution. And so you can, with that, and, you know, bro, for better or worse, because we know that, like, there's been directions that stuff's been taken, but you can just keep fucking cutting, dude. You know, you can, and I guess, to also answer, like, a second part of your question, like, at some point, bro, you get to the point where you're like, you've hacked up the car so much that it's like, why don't you just build your own car? Just make your own tubular thing, and boom, it's like what, you know, Engineer to Slide did. there's a dude in Japan who like cut the entire back half of an S chassis and like rebuilt the entire thing from like the towers back. It's like, dude, you just like made a new car, you know?
That's wild.
So yeah,
Right.
We're gonna have to talk about that guy. I don't know if I've seen that guy.
so you're in for, it's probably, in my opinion, I haven't even talked about it yet, but I think it's going to be probably one of the lowest S chassis on planet Earth.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Jesus.
And he's got the arms level, like they're level at that height. He just did what I described. He just redesigned the chassis around the car being low. But yeah,
Right.
just have it drive as best as I can, bro. You know, I
Mhm.
mean, there's a lot of limitations. Like I think the biggest one is tires. You know,
Okay.
the situation is kind of difficult. It's like if I was like to run like a 235 on my car in the front, that thing would be like, you know, you'd have to cut near the hood, dude. Like the top of the tire would be like, it'll be like an F1 car with the tire. It goes like in a setup, like, you know.
Yeah, when they pop through. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the idea. No, it's not Mikinu's coupe. It's another car. It's another
That
car.
car's actually rad as fuck though. I'm looking at it
Yeah.
right now. I never saw this car before, so.
Did you? I'll send it to you, dude. Did you find
No,
it?
this man, hold up. For like the people that are watching on, oh my god, it's not gonna.
It will.
Bro, that is
I
a
think.
white
Great.
screen, my
Well,
guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well.
Whatever.
Alright.
This man's got
Oh,
hatched taillights on the coupe.
Oh, that's a little hard
I
to
don't know
see,
if you can see
but
that in this
yeah,
picture. The hatched taillights on the coupe. That's actually kind of crazy.
that's pretty wild.
You know, like the whole like he like redid the towers. He like it's a tubular front end thing. He made his own trans tunnel. Like he like the back half of the car, like everything was raised up like from the tower. It's crazy, dude. You know.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's crazy. I like the fact that your goal is to make sure that the car still performs, though. Do you know what I mean? That's a big thing, because in this day and age, with the popularity of like, I have an S chassis, I need to be, you know, following the fucking trends of jacking the front up and blah blah blah. Like, we're not in Japan at Ibisu, you know, like we're not at Meheim, you know what I mean? Like, we're not running that wall. Like, I understand, but like it's cool that you're doing the same. You're trying to replicate the same drivability, but still be low. Like, I really appreciate that, because I've been noticing. I don't know. I think the trends are kind of coming down a little bit. I've been hearing some talks, and people are starting to bring their stuff at least like fender to lip. But I've been hearing and I've been seeing some stuff. Like people that were kind of like talking shit. They're like, yeah, maybe I could go like an inch lower, you know, like stuff like that, you know. But it's like it gets to a degree where people are doing stuff just because they hear that the suspension geometry at blah 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 isn't right. But it's like, it's so stupid, because did you see this?
No,
So thankful.
Yeah.
But no, it's just one of those things where they make drop knuckles, they make this stuff, and to sacrifice and just be one of those trend followers just bothers the shit out of me with S chassis. It's a lot of S chassis stuff.
Yeah, like just, you know, just try it, dude. Like, try it yourself. Go and I see the rationale. It's like, okay, this person has this setup, they did this, that, and that, and they achieved that result. Okay, great. So then, if I do X, Y, and Z to my car, I'm going to go out and achieve that result. And I think you're right. Like, there's definitely a lot of focus on that, and less about just go try it, dude. Do you feel a difference? You know, a lot of people get really fixated on these like setups and this, that, and who am I to say anything? I mean, look at my setup is not conventional whatsoever. So who am I to comment on that? But, you know.
But you're doing it though. That's the thing. You know what I mean? That's the impressive part, is that you're out there doing it, and I don't really see you fighting. You know what I mean? Like, you're not fighting yourself. Like, I've driven with you, and honestly, I forgot that you're fucking insanely low. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think of it because your car's performing and it's doing what it needs to do. Even though it's probably different. Like, I understand there's a difference being that low, but even at I'd like to see the world get back to like the normal heights Do you know what I mean? Like when I got excited about drifting, it was like, you know, even the 2-finger gap, like we're way past that. Like people are fucking fisting, you know, like, and it's horrible. Like at minimum, I still feel like the suspension geometry can be set up to be run that way. And a good representation of that is like Drift Masters. You look at FD versus Drift Masters, and like the fucking Drift Masters cars are fucking stacked.
Yeah, they're all dumped.
They're all dumped.
For the most part. And even the ones that are high, they're not like RTR Mustang high.
Exactly. Yeah. So I give you, basically what I'm trying to say is I give you kudos, number one, for keeping the drivability in a low car and inspiring the people that are out there. You know what I mean? Like that's very important. Okay, so for those that are just listening, James just wrote Front Street with a smile, with a grinny face, and we're not picking. We love Front Street.
They used to be low.
They used to be. They were like early kind of inspiration stuff for me. Like I'm obviously poking fun, but
right. Yeah.
Front Street. I think it was Josh like a while ago, and I think Nick had told me about this. He was driving somewhere in New York, and his front sway bar like hit something, and he folded it under the car.
Holy shit.
I'm pretty sure it was Josh. I don't remember, but yeah, they used to be like laid the fuck out. And when I finished the body drop stuff and I went to SSE, I was talking to Tom, and he was like, dude, if we still cared about being low, like we'd be driving with the big ass tires of the car cut up just like this.
Yeah.
So that's why you took your sway bar off in Chicago.
Yes.
You know, we didn't talk about this yet, but I really wanted to bring this up when he was telling a story earlier. So, Juan, can you tell us that story about what you did when you got to Chicago?
So also real quick,
a
backstory. So Juan is also on a team called Auto Real Dream. He got to drive with us in Wisconsin at Final Bout 6, which was really cool, and our special stage in Summit Point. So just so you know, and we'll get into that too. I do want to talk about the team then, but yes. Yeah. So what happened in Chicago? Because I don't think I know this story.
Oh, it's great. I was there for the whole thing.
Let's fucking go. Is it embarrassing?
No, it's good. I just couldn't believe it was happening. It literally
the whole story. If I, both of y'all, if I forget something, just go ahead and interrupt me so I don't get any detail. So I'll start from even before. So we were driving, in the truck to Chicago, dude. I was already starting to be like, we're in Chicago. This car is like 1,000 miles away from its home, dude. That was already kind of like, it was late. We had been driving a long time. And so I'm like, okay, the whole, even before that, and I think I talked to you about it, James, and probably you too, Chad, about the cruise. I'm like, is my car going to get smoked? And am I going to go to jail? Am I going to the car? Am I going to like flip over into something? I don't know, dude. Chicago, I've driven it a bunch, but Chicago's a big city, dude, so we were pulling, I don't remember what road we took, dude, and I just see Seb's car just bouncing up and down the road, and like Nico's trailer is flying, and then like I start driving to the same spots that they were in, and my shit starts flying, and I'm texting the group chat like, this is fucking cursed. Are we driving through this, and like no one seemed to give a fuck. Like there was like Seb was like, I'm driving through it right now. Like you're being a bitch. Like I'm literally driving through it. Like and Nico was like, this isn't that bad. I was like, oh fuck, just go fuck myself then. Everything's bouncing up and down. We get to the fucking hotel. I don't know where the hell to go. We get split up for like a second, and we finally park in. We like go in, dude. I don't leave. I'm a dungeon dweller, so being in a big city is like kind of crazy. So we like go in, and I was already like, holy shit, we're in this big ass city. And then, dude, we like get into the hotel, and it's this giant open thing, bro. I mean, y'all know it. We were there.
It's big.
It's open, and it's like, what the fuck? And then like we have a problem getting the room. The rooms are like all smoke, so poor Nico's going up and down trying to get us the room. He finally gets us a room. There's like this whole ordeal with the room. Whatever. I wake up the next morning. I'm like, all right. And then I was like, holy shit, there's my car, and we're in Chicago. What the fuck, dude? It was seriously crazy. Like I know a lot of you guys have traveled pretty far for drifting, but I haven't gone to like the farthest I think I had gone was Pocono, which was a 4 and some change hours. I hadn't gone. I can't have any longer trips than Pocono that I've taken my car drifting. I think that was the furthest one. So now we're in Chicago, dude. So it was like kind of a lot to process. My belongings are. That's my belongings, like my floor jack. My floor jack is so far from home, dude. You know, like my toolbox is so far from home. It was a lot to process, you know, because I like thinking about stuff because I write it down for the blog. So it was a lot to process. So Chad had gotten there a little bit later. We went to go. Nico and I went to go wash our. Nico 7 and I went to go wash our cars, and my alternator broke on the way back. And then I think that's when we pulled up, right, Chad?
Yeah. You were fixing your alternator.
Dude, like, pulled out.
Use my truck.
Yeah. We had to go wash the cars. The thing to get in was cursed. Like, you know, it was cursed, the entrance to this car wash that we found. We had a good time. We just sit there and listen to some Fade and watch the cars and whatnot. And then we came back and my alternator was smoked, so Nico and I tested it at this like random shops, and dude was super cool. Midwest people, pretty tight, dude. Nice ass. They get approval. They're super cool. They like use some fancy thing to test my alternator. Like, your thing is smoked. Then we went back, and then that's when Chad pulled up, and I was fixing the alternator, and I was using his truck, dude. That's
yeah. He plugged into my outlet in my bed because they couldn't like use their grinder or whatever they were doing, or no, like a soldering iron or something.
The heat gun, Chad.
Heat gun? I don't know. I'm surprised it wasn't a grinder. Let's be honest.
Fix the alternator. Just
No, we were fixing it, and like, you know, I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? And then, so yes, I took the sway bar off for the cruise because the sway bar is the lowest thing. It hung, and I'm not just gonna delete it. I need that thing for the drifting, so I keep my sway bar, keep that thing on me. So I took it off, and I was taking it off. I was like, Chad. He's like, what?
It's like, what the fuck are you doing right now?
What's up with this drives that we're gonna be doing tonight? He's like, you know, it's gonna be fine. I was like, all right, and we just, you know, Chad and I just kept talking. And I was like, Chad, what if we just like lower it a bit?
Oh god.
So we're in the parking lot. I'm like, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Lower it. I was like, I mean, I took the sway bar off, so now we can like.
Yeah. So he made clearance only to take the clearance away.
Oh my god, that is a disease. That's a disease, my
it's
guy.
Ridiculous, and it did physically like make a difference. It looked lower for sure. Like there's definitely a difference, but it was not necessary. Like he purposely took his sway bar off to make sure he didn't fuck shit up, and then he just lowered his car more.
Oh my god,
it's pretty funny. So we lowered it a little bit, took the sway bar off, and then Seb and Nico kindly installed delivery.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that stuff, dude. Man, that's so hard. They were like all nice with it, and the doors, and Seb got the decal on the gas. Mm-hmm. You know, they did they were out in the heat for like 3 hours just putting that thing on. Well, and with the alternator and it not being useful at all, because the stickers, dude. Nah, laissez-faire on that one. I'll let other people do it.
Yeah, that's these two for me. Like,
yeah, we do it all.
Fuck with the stickers. They do the stickers.
That's funny. No shit.
I can't do that, but yeah.
This man lowered his car for the cruise.
How was the cruise then? How was the highway to? It was good.
It was all fantastic. Oh, okay.
Well, those roads are pretty good.
So yeah, that definitely did not need to take off this paper, but I don't know what to expect. But like next year, I'm gonna keep it on, but I don't know what was up. Yeah. James and I cruised into the meet together, and there was like a Federale behind him.
Federale.
The fucking Raleighs were out, man.
Yeah, there was like one behind James, and then like we do a turn, and the Raleigh gets behind me, and James is probably sitting there like, look at this idiot about to get arrested. And then dude that's like gonna oversee the meet. So he was chill. Oversee the meet. The cruise, man, I don't have enough words to say about that. Holy, our cruise to Mitsuba.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, that was cool
sick.
too.
That was
Like
cool.
that was my favorite part of Chicago, honestly. Was that first cruise with the homies? That was cool.
That was
the little adventures were actually like, yeah, even breakfast, like, and the cops are so cool there. Like, you guys took off, and then I like second gear just broke loose in front of a cop, and he just like
that's because it's Chicago. They have to worry about murders. Not a stupid kid in the car doing a burnout.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
I do have a picture of the Grid Life meet then too. So
hey,
so here's
that's cool.
For anybody listening, we have a picture of his whole team at the Grid Life warehouse. They're all posted up outside, which is pretty sick. But
that was a cool spot. They had like all the little arcade games and stuff in the cars. That was a really cool, like, Fast and Furious type feel.
Yeah.
Early 2000s feel meet.
No, for sure.
Dude, you popped your TV on the highway, dude.
Dude, like every 5 minutes, that shit was up.
I gotta say, I just posted about that video too. It is doing so well. Oh, I keep forgetting to get you the footage, James. You have to remind me.
Right.
The little footage. I mean, it's crazy. Just you hammered on the highway, popping the trunk on people. On the
good roller.
Stupid.
It was
I'm
a good
gonna
roller.
be ignorant with that shit. So like Saturday, I think we talked about it last week. Saturday, I'm street driving to New Jersey for Skylar's thing.
Oh yeah.
So like that's gonna be an adventure, but
Whew.
yeah, I'm gonna be popping the trunk like every 3 minutes.
Can you like record that adventure? I think you should. You should document.
Yeah.
You should
We'll
document
make a video.
the whole fucking thing, because that would be pretty hard.
Chelsea's coming with me, so we'll get some.
Cool.
Get some good footage.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Is she driving separate, just in case?
No, she's driving with me.
Oh, even better.
We're in it.
That's commitment.
So
is fucking
cool. You should probably get like a sat phone or something, just in case. Like, in case you're.
I'm 3 clicks north of the river. Come pick me up.
No offense to New Jersey, but it reminds me of like like a deserted wasteland. Shots fired.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, Juan. You blow my mind. I would not lower my car to street drive. I would probably.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. But I mean, I get it, because you do it. You have that goal, and I think you are a prime example of something that we all kind of suffer from here in this podcast. Is the visual representation of your car gets you super excited, and then it's like the icing on top of drifting it. So like, I know I can speak for myself. I have a hard time if the car doesn't look even remotely close to how I want it to look and what gets me excited. The drifting kind of is just blah. But if the car, I know what it looks like and I'm stoked at how it looks, it inspires me to drive harder and just look better and just perform and like put on a show. Like it's, they always say it's a spectator sport or whatever, but it's like our representation of ourselves. And I really love to be like, this is what I built. Like, this is the dumb fucking thing that I'm drifting. And yeah, here it is.
And that's actually true. I remember the one time I watched you got new tires for the front. They were like good sticky boy tires, right? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So you put these tires
on
the
I remember
wheels.
this.
You pulled it outside, looked at it. You were getting ready to pull it on the trailer for an event. And you're like, nah, fuck it. You pulled it right back in and put your other wheels back on. It was just too high. Like a half inch. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why I say I get it. Like, I get it. I do get it. I just really found myself, like, I love a fucking low car, and I honestly am going to work on even the Rolla needs to go lower, but I don't know that chassis that well, and there's not a lot of, like, everybody that's like has like super dumped Corollas is in Japan, so it's hard to get like some of the information. But I do remember that, because I was like, no, fuck this. But no, that excitement of it visually having to look a certain way is what pushes me to do anything like drifting wise. Like, I don't know. There's an ultimate goal, and I don't know where I was going with this because I'm fucking an idiot. But
I forgot too.
Long story short is, I feel we all suffer from, we look at the car, if it excites us, now we can drift. Like, I will still drive a piece of shit. Like, I don't care if we're just doing piece of shit things, but it's not going to be as fun. Like, I think the risk and reward part of it too. I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, you know, I'm inches from Chad with wheels that cost me way too much fucking money, and almost slammed into his wheels several times because I was pushing that hard. Would have been expensive, but the reward is that memory that I have of driving that hard with you is with expensive shit and putting it on the line is so much fun. I don't know. And just looking at the pictures in the media, it's just like, this is what I want to do. So yeah. And for anybody that's in the chat, which is the chat's booming. We appreciate you guys too. Yeah. Chat is good today. But for those that are listening, you're not gonna be able to see this, but I'm going to put a picture. If you don't know Juan's car, this is Juan's rendition of his car with the Real Dream Boys for Final Bout 6.
Mm-hmm.
And
can we talk about how much I love Z2s? Are those Z2s?
The fronts are SFRs.
Okay, never mind. I had to make it full screen. I'm like, what's going on here? Never mind. I'll shut the hell up.
No, this car is good.
Very good looking car. I don't think I have any other pictures of it standard. I don't. But I did. This is kind of a cool little segue. So now it's low. We all know that. You know, you're probably one of the, I mean, I don't know how this ranks because you guys are the low kings, but you're definitely one of the lowest cars. 240SX, I'm going to say in America for sure, you are 100% in the top. What do you think, James? You know low stuff better than me.
This man's on a whole nother level of low. We measured at SSE and he's like an inch lower than me. Like to the door lock, like an inch, right?
You actually measured from the ground to the. I love that you did that. That's so fucking great. Oh, that's awesome. So I mean, you're definitely, you know, you're 100% up there with being. I'd be curious in the world, you know, it'd be really cool to see. Besides a chassis that's built to be low, because honestly, like one that's not like the frame, you know what I mean, of a 240SX, I don't count that. That's not a 240 then, you know, the stuff that you're doing, which I want to show, but the thing that is really cool, you're one of the lowest, but you're still out there doing stuff. Things like, you know, this is you at. So this is what
you did win. Damn.
So let's talk about you driving in a, what is this, a competition, speed and sound at Spirit?
Yeah, that was like a whole series that they did for a year. I think I forget which year, 2021, 2022. Yeah, it was like a whole series that they did for, I think there was like 4 events and like, you know, whatever you get scores for each of the events and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, it was look, I have this conversation with my boys a lot about the cars and the comps, and I think that was a track that the car excelled in well because it was really tight. So it was an equalizer, like for sure. You know, you roll with a 235 front, 235 rear, you got like 220, 250 horsepower. You don't really have a lot of places to go. And, you know, I firmly believe that the way that the car was set up for like no grip in the rear was really helpful because, you know, that was also like it's a stock K. It's not like a fancy motor or nothing. So wheel speed helps. Wheel speed helps the car. It helps have you get some degree of forward movement. You know, I didn't design the car. I didn't design the setup in any way to do any of that stuff because driving there, like, for example, dudes like Tyler, you know, he's super technically oriented. The guy is really good at analyzing drift, what cars do and what people are doing and how it's set up. And, you know, the dude shreds it. He has such a strong, like, cognitive ability to like read how people are like moving the wheel and what they're doing to understand that.
Right.
And so he was able to break down the movements that the car is supposed to be doing. And so that was the first time that the car was really tested, right? Because it was a really difficult movement of the car. It was dangerous. You had to wall, you had to do this feint. You have to put that was the first time someone says you need to put the car in this part of the track. Like, and then you got to put it here. That's how, that's how inexperienced I am with drifting, dude. Like that was like before it was just get around the track, just get her, go through it, and B-side was whatever you do, whatever, just get around the track.
Right.
And so, I learned how to tandem a little bit before that, but it was never that technical. So it's like, where do you tandem? Tandem the quarter, you tandem the door. That was the first, comp I've ever done. And so it was a lot of learning. It's a lot of, you have to anticipate the car in front of you. Like you have to get the jump on them so that you catch up. There was like a back part of that track that had like a bump on it, dude, that I couldn't drive over because the car straight up went airborne. You remember that part, James? You're like,
yeah, hell yeah.
Like,
hell yeah, brother.
Someone down the street and the car's like bouncing up and you lose the proximity. So there was a lot of learning, and he was really good at offering like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. And like, even the car being set up all goofy, he's like, dude, when you're fainting, the car is still going straight. You need to figure out something else to do that, because it's not actually loading up. Like it's driving like shit, dude. It's not, you're turning the wheel and the car isn't moving anywhere. So yeah, it was a lot of figuring stuff out. That was a big year of testing and developing the car, but it was nothing like load oriented per se. It was like tires and camber and tire pressure, and tire pressures are important. I learned all that kind of stuff there. So a lot of learning, and I got definitely like really leveraged as much practice as I could on that stuff, and just figuring out how to drive with other people and close. And like that was when I really realized, okay, the car is like laid out and it's really low and it's pretty ignorant, but you can still kind of drift it. So it was like a really nice revelation where this thing can do stuff. It's actually capable of achieving some kind of like a measurable result. And so that was, I think, a pretty cool year for me, just because I had that revelation. And I'll admit to you, dude, like sometimes I set up the car and it's like, yeah, it's low, but it's also, if you drive like shit, it's like, sorry, man, the car's too low. It's not like
you can blame it on the car. It's not the driver, it's for sure the car.
Are you talking about me right now? That's like
I was kind of how I was like, all right, if I lower the share of my car and I drive like ass, everyone's like, oh, it's that dumbass kid with the low rider that just goes, it was like, it was a part of that, and I wanted to try and, all right, what if we don't put on that hat? What if you try to emulate the things that the people like Tyler are doing on this track? Let's try and do that. Like, you don't have to hide behind this veil of your car's low, you can't drive. Fucking figure it out, dude. Try and drive that time. And so when I started to achieve some results with it there, and it was like it put a lot of wind in my sail to try and like, okay, how about you like keep trying to make it drive a little bit better?
Yeah.
So yeah, that comp was cool. It was nice.
Was that a win for one event, or was that a season? Holy fuck, dude! Well, congratulations. Cool. That's really cool. Well deserved. Now, I will say I probably had the video somewhere, but when we went to 100 Drifters in December, you were there, and so was Tyler, and it was really cool to watch the top lot when you guys were doing the technical. Like that technical top lot on the skid. It wasn't a skid pad. It was like a little track, but consider that car track. And I literally remember, I forget who I said to, but I was like, this is really impressive to watch your car suspension, like geometry wise, was doing the preload that you needed to throw basically backies towards that entry, and I was standing there watching Tyler go through and watching a bunch of people and watching you drive. You were driving super aggressive that day, and I was just very, very impressed. And like in my head, I was like, good for him, like, because to overcome that, where everybody's like, no, you need to be fucking skyjacked, or you need all this travel, and it's like, do you? Like I understand from a competition aspect, and a lot of the guys that are doing that skyjacking stuff, it's because they are getting into that stuff. They want to do these comps and stuff. But realistically, if it's your passion and you want to be low, I mean, you're prime example of it's still doable, because the car seemed like it was fucking handling perfect. Like I literally was like, whoa, like I want to drive that car. Like it looked like you were just nailing it every single time. Like it was super sick. I got some cool, I had it in the video I made then, which is no, it was really cool. So Yeah, man, that's a deserved win. And it's also like you're just winning with car setup, which is really cool. I'd like to get into that a little bit because I know there's going to be some people that listen to this that are going to be interested in car setup. You know what I mean? Hopefully this is inspiring people that, you can still do stuff. Oh, wait, we got Tyler in the chat.
Yep. Yeah. And TJ actually just
you're getting into skyjacking, bud? Sounds dirty. So no, that it was just really cool. But I know there's gonna be people that are listening, to this podcast once we put it up. That since you're low car orientated, they might want to pick up some tips, pick up some stuff like that. I did have a quick revelation. You know what I think really started the trend of jacking it up was Animal Style.
Probably.
They're so influential. They were dumped before, but they're so influential in American drifting that I think, even though it was a popular thing to do at a certain prefecture over in Japan, for whatever, because they switched to it, it became like law. You know what I mean? Like people, that happens a lot in America. They don't do their own thing. They kind of follow the crowd. And I'm sure, I mean, talking to them, like Palmer and all them, they still love low stuff. They fucking love it. You know what I mean? They know what's going on.
He goes to halfway hangs and shit.
Yeah. They totally get it, but it's weird to see all the sheep that follow. You know what I mean? So it's commendable again for like Juan. You're staying low, you're doing your shit, and it's pretty cool. So let's get into setup. Do you have, and I'm sure people are going to be curious about this, do you have any like, I don't want to say a quick setup or like a cheat, you know what I mean? But through the years of you doing this stuff, is there something that you could give like, words of advice to somebody that wants to start bringing their car down to get to either like the functional, like low, like still dumped. And then we're going to get into your setup, which I have, which is still functional, but we're going to get into, for the people that are in, actually live with us right now on YouTube, I have some visual representation and we're going to talk about that for the people that are listening. But for anybody that's listening too, I just want to know like the two levels. Like first, any advice for anybody that wants to just be dumped but have a good suspension setup, and then we're gonna go super fucking dumped, and that's when we're gonna bring up your what you're currently doing.
So
James, take notes.
I think that's a really good way of putting it, Damien. And so like to segue into the way that you kind of pose the question, I think the two things is bolt on low and then like cut shit low,
Right. That's yep.
Yeah. And so I think like, I guess I get questions about low stuff all the time and I love answering them. I always answer whatever, I answer all the DMs about the questions in the car and whatever I get, ask away. So I think the first thing with the low thing is just decide how low do you want to go? Like realistically, I always have people ask like, I want to lower my car and what do I need to do? I can't just answer that question. Like, what is your current height and what height do you want to be at? And you can generally tell like what you want to be on a 17, or 18, or 19, 20, whatever. Like what how do you want to be on? Because James, 18 low. Same as like 15 low, 15.
It's a loading question. Like that, that question is open-ended.
So it's like figuring, okay, how low do you want to go? And I will say like, if you're looking to have like fender on the rear, like on the 18, you don't need to do any weird shit. That's like, it's it's pretty low. And you can probably even just use a stock knuckle. And I think when you're trying to go to that height, you do have to have a coilover that is meant to be able to go down, right? So you have to have one with like a short shock body and a short spring. I'm a huge fan of those tiny 4-inch Swift springs. I think they're sweet. The springs are good.
Yeah.
You definitely need a coilover that can go low, that's not limited on like the rear, because the front you can like do all kinds of shit, remove the collars, flip the thing, you can get the front down pretty low, but the rear is generally like most conventional off the shelf coilovers. They are not going to get you down that far, so you need a coilover that has a short shock. And I know Fortune Broadway does it. I know like Stance does it. You just have to request a short body, and like even if they don't offer that, just email them and they can probably just ask what the shortest thing you can get is. On my blog, I have a photo of like my Broadway is cranked all the way down, and my old D-Max is cranked all the way down, and it's like a 3-inch difference type thing.
Wow.
Like, you have to realize that when you go for those coilovers, and I tell people the same shit, it's like you're committed to the height. Like, for example, the height my car was at the Spirit comp, that was pretty much maxed out, dude. Like, if I was to raise that rear coilover, I would unpop it off the body. Like, it had the minimum 25 mil or whatever. Things that you had to, you're committing to that stuff. Like, that's it. That's what you have to do. So, yeah. So like a bolt-on low type thing, even like plating close to tucking on a 17, you don't need to do anything crazy. I think the most important thing is, like, for an S chassis for any car, is oil pan. Like, just make sure your oil pan isn't going to smoke the floor. Like, that's that's like the meme behind low cars. You know, every time one shares a video of a low car, it's like, oh, the oil pan. Like, dude, the oil pan is like a non-issue. That should be like the first thing that's handled. Like, the oil pan shouldn't even be. There's other stuff you got to worry about before the oil pan. You know, like rubbing, like how bad you rubbing, like wear. So like, you also have to be cool with small tires. That's a huge thing about low, is you have to figure out the small tire situation. And this is a big driving segue, Damien. Like, if you're somebody who has your car set up where you're depending on having sticky front tires for drifting, like that is something that you require to get around a track, it's probably not going to work, because you have to depend on not having tons of grip in the front, because you need to run a small tire. And you pair that with camber, bro. You know, I get that when you turn the wheel for a drift car, it alters, but like when you're fainting and whatnot, your car's still straight. So you have to be able to rotate that thing around. So you got, sorry, you got.
Yo, come on, get it together, man. We're having a podcast here.
Delayed tax results.
No tax. So you got to be cool on the small tire.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be okay with that. You have to know how to not depend on. Thanks. I'm gonna go right here.
Oh man.
So you got to depend on. You can't depend on a big tire in the front. You have to figure out how to drive around that. You have to figure out how to, like, if you take out grip in the front, you got to take out grip in the rear, so it's a little bit more balanced. So you have to be cool with, you know, a stretch tire in the front. And again, you can just figure out how you want to set up your driving for your grip level and whatnot. But yeah, the tire situation, the rest, everything else is like pretty. There's not a lot of science that goes into it. Like, if you're both at that height, it really, it's not super dumb where you're having like a lot of problems driving. You're gonna like that's like, Damien, the bigger issue there, and I'm sure you remember this, because Rich was at this height with his S14.
Yeah.
Your yard sailing. That's like the that you've got, is your yard sailing, your aero everywhere. But aside from that, like, you really don't have, like, it's not that bad. I keep, you know.
So no real big advice. It's just basically, and do you suggest them to use the drop knuckle stuff that's available, things like that? Because back when I was like doing S13 stuff, a lot of that stuff wasn't even around. I was just using like simple cut knuckles, lowered it. Yeah, my suspension's like this, but it didn't really, you know what I mean? Yeah, it didn't, you know, IKEA formula tie rods, because they were stronger. So the bump steer, like, you know, like it didn't bend them as much, like with any type of bumps when I was at lock. And then it was just PBM everything, like Power by Max everything. And I had no issues. Like, that car drifted great and was fairly low, and I could have went lower. Yeah. But like the bump steer stuff, it's kind of like just, I guess, or not the bump steer, drop knuckle things and all that stuff is kind of not necessarily needed yet, right?
Nope.
The drop knuckle and the, like, if you can figure out some of the issues with it, like when you can have a car that's like not super dumped, put drop knuckles, and you kind of start smoking your axles, because you're pushing the drop knuckle generally pushes the hub out, and so you decrease like the tautness of the axle. Right. So like, I had my car on stock front and rear knuckles at a pretty low height for a long time, and I didn't have any funny stuff in it. Like, same thing with my boy Nick. He didn't have any crazy situations. The only, like, for an S chassis specific, it was just the S14 style outer tie rod. It was like a Maxima or something inner. It was a cut knuckle, and it was a slightly lengthened controller. That was it. What I had. The back was just all adjustable arms. It was no different than than any other car. That's why I kept it, as simple as I could.
Yeah.
Drop knuckle, it can be beneficial. I guess it depends on what you're going for and your axle and your diff setup and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you can theoretically have a car that has drop knuckles front and rear at like a pretty like slammed height and still have level arms and not have any axle issues. But I think that's like, it's not something that I'm going to immediately push somebody to. I really recommend you put those on when you realize that you need them. Like I didn't put on those drop knuckles until my camber arm hit the frame of the car, and that you couldn't do it.
Yes.
And it happened so bad that it actually snapped the heim in the upper control arm. I was like, dude, what the hell? And so I was like, okay, well, the drop knuckle will move that control arm away from the frame. So that was the reason why I did it. It wasn't like, oh, my car's going to drive better. I'm going to have more grip. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. It was like, stuff is hitting. I don't want it to hit. And that was the only reason I put them on. If it didn't hit, bro, I probably would have still be on the stock knuckles.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. And that I was just curious for the people out there. You know what I mean? I want to make sure, because I see a lot of that. It's like instantly. Now, I never had to use drop knuckle stuff because that stuff wasn't even around when I was doing S chassis things. But now I see it's very common. Like you see people going right to drop knuckle things, and I'm curious what your advice was with that. For people listening. So that's really that's good to know.
It's not a necessity, but it definitely solved. It's every part on your car should solve a problem, and that solved the problem for me.
Yes. No. Cool. So now I want to get into. I like how you said there's the bolt-on low, and then how did you describe it?
The cut shit off low.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect fucking segue. And this is all going to be available in depth on your blog, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's all there.
which is very also another thing that's very commendable, because I know a lot of people, they end up getting into something super heavy and then they don't want to give out the secrets. You know what I mean? Like you put a lot of time and effort into this. So for the people out there and anybody that's listening, like please go visit if you have any interest, or if you just want to see it. If you're listening to us, I suggest you go to the blog, go to his Instagram and look at this stuff just to get an idea of what we're actually talking about. And we're going to describe it the best we can for everybody that's listening. And it's pretty easy to understand, but for those of you that are watching, if you've never seen this, it's pretty wild. So we'll start with, look at how cute you are cutting some shit.
God, this guy I feel like this picture, that first picture, was just like he's in the garage and the girl's like, he's like, babe, take a picture, right? He's not actually doing anything functional.
Just
cut off wheel to
I was cutting it for the high mount. That's actually my coupe.
Nah, play it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about some stuff. And this is so crazy. for those of you that are listening, Juan, can you describe to us what we're looking at and describe what's done in this picture? And you don't have to get super lengthy, but just so the people that are listening can understand the level and the extremes that you went to achieve your goal.
Okay, so I'll tell you like a little bit of a backstory to this. So like it was exactly a continuation of the question you had asked before. It was like, all right, we need to go lower. What do we got to do? So I realized I had to, cut the car in half because it needed to raise like the front subframe. And the best way to describe like the low stuff is it's just a constant spiraling of decisions. Right. Mm-hmm. It just spirals from one thing to the next. And that can be said of a lot of car stuff, right? Like you're doing a swap and you're like, I got to change the trans. Oh, no, I got to change the drive shaft. Oh, no, I got to change it just spirals. And it was the same idea. So, my boy, Nick Harrison, we were like talking, like, I got to lower this car. I was like, I'm going to have to like,
I gotta
subframe. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. It's a necessity. Like we have to do it. Like we gotta notch the front subframe so it brings the whole front end up, so I can lower that, so I have more ground clearance. It's like, okay, well, that modification, Damien, is actually pretty common in Japan. The front subframe notching thing, it's actually pretty common. A lot of people have done it. over there, like super dumped cars. And there's a guy in Russia who did it too. He had a silver in it, Artem. He did it too. And so we're like, all right, we got to do the subframe. And then I was like, okay, well, if we do the subframe, what about the trans? Because the trans going to be like that, right? I can't really do that. There we go. The motor is high and the train is going to sit low. And so like the diff is also raised. So like, what's up with like this? Is it going to be fucked? Like, is my car going to twist in half or some shit? So I was like, why don't we just move everything up as if it came like that? And so, you know, my boy Nick was like, yeah, you should fucking do it. I was like, no, it sounds ridiculous. Like, we're going to cut the whole tunnel out and move it up and then cut the trans. He's like, yeah. I was like, doesn't that sound stupid to you? He's like, no. I like, hey, can I do it at your house? He was like, fuck yeah. So I hightailed my car down to Nick's house and I basically took over all this stuff is done at Nick's house. And so I hightailed it down to Nick's house and, you know, we just started having some delos. And that moment right there, dude, that was crazy. Like
literally in half.
When you cut the whole,
And like you can see, I had to weld like some bar on the center of it so that the chassis wouldn't split open because these cars are such piles of shit that if you had cut that,
yes,
I cut the car and then it like you make that last cut and the whole thing like moves and like you're like oh shit, like
wow,
oh, you would have smoked the car. Like how would you bring that thing back to shape? So we welded all this. We welded the bars on there, and then we cut it out. And like I don't even know what Nick was doing at the time because he was not in the garage when I cut it. And like I come out and like here's the tunnel, and he had come back in. He was like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
That's funny.
Cut it in half. Yeah, it was just we just wanted to channel the whole thing through. It was a lot. It took us, I think, 2 months to do it. A really long time. That had the diff stuff was done before. That was the first thing that I did, right? And we did it with James, and we're like, hey, we got to move this whole thing up. It's been done before. Let's do it. So then it just spirals like, okay, well, the diff's up. What about the rest of the fucking car? So then you just cut the whole thing in half. And yeah, it was a 2-month project. I'd go to Nick's house on the weekends, and I would just like take over his house and his guest room. And we would just work all fucking weekend on the car, just cutting and measuring, just, you know, trying to figure out how to do all that stuff, just trying to solve problems. And then I just made all the pieces. I basically took the upper section that I cut out and I put it on the ground and I traced it on paper. So it was just like an outline of it. And so I just made the pieces from the outline.
Oh yeah.
There. And I used like little rods to hold the tunnel up. Yeah, it was cool. We had a good time.
That's wild, dude.
No, it's very wild. And again,
I dropped the car, which is cool.
Yeah,
is what you did, which is relatable because coming from like mini trucks that I had, like, okay, you can bag it and then it's not actually low. So if you want to make it low, you got to body drop it so the doors could, or like, you know, fenders can sit on the ground and the bed can sit on the ground, and that you just did it to a car, which is kind of unheard of, at least in the US, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, I mean, I hate, you know, who knows, dude? What if there's like some dude in some dungeon who just like his whole life is body dropping everything? Like that's not like Tesla. He did it to an S chassis. He has like a repository of body drop stuff. Who knows? It's pretty cool. I had seen the front half of the tunnel done. This guy in Yuma did it to his hatch when it was first built. He did do the tunnel like all the way just up to the shifter. He didn't go all the way back. I wasn't sure why. Never understood that. I did a lot of research. Just like what? Why did you? And then, but he also did the front by channeling the frame rail and not the subframe. Sure. So I was like, "Fuck it, dude. Let's cut the whole thing out." And then, like, I think the craziest thing was seeing the diff through the car. That was tight. The diff through the car was tight, and the big inspiration for that stuff is car make Revive. Out in Australia, they do a lot of that stuff as well. A bunch of dumps. They have a bunch of dumped S13s and have an R31 too, I think.
Yeah. Australia's definitely known for low stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah. While we're on the subject though, because JB asked a question in the chat, are your PBM tension rods installed correctly?
Yeah.
So I love this. So I didn't actually realize this. Yeah, I didn't realize that until like earlier this year. Juan, you can talk about it, but like normally your tension rods mount on top of your lower control arms, right? This guy has them underneath. It's incredible. I got to see that for the first time this year.
Like there's a lot of cars, Damien, that have these mods in Japan. Like
sure.
I can think of like probably 10 of them, right? And there's like a whole group of these cats, and it's so interesting because they're young kids. They're like most of them are like young kids who have their motors coming out the hood and shit. I think a couple of them drift like pretty regularly, but they all do. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, the tension rods. They all do this stuff, and like, you know, when I'm like looking at this stuff, because again, I love the researching and looking at stuff. I'm like, how are people doing it? And I generally saw that sway bar wasn't there. They didn't keep it. Again, bro, I'm not an expert on drifting car setup or any of this shit. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to be doing, but I think you need the front sway bar. I was like, this is important. Also, on a car that is pretty low and has a tight fender fitment, so that you don't have the tire have a bunch of travel without the bar. I wanted the bar there. I didn't want to get rid of it, so I was like, okay, what the hell am I going to do? Because when you raise the subframe, you effectively raise the pickup point of the front tension rods too, right? You have to bring everything up because now your arms are 35 millimeters up. Well, now your tension rods also need to be 35 millimeters up. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's just like re-drill it a notch up and put the tension rod up here. Problem is, bro, when I did that, I like the heim joint on the tension rod hit the sway bar D bracket. So you want to raise your tension rods, or you want to get rid of your sway bar, because like you could notch it, you could get rid of the sway bar and just move the thing up and you'd be fine. And I originally did that, and then I tried to put the car back together and I couldn't get the sway bar on. I was like, we were about to go drifting somewhere. I think it was Tyler's private day. I was like, dude, I was gonna go test out the body drop. That was when I wanted to go see, like, did I just destroy my car? Or does this thing still work? So my tension rod is not the way PBM intended it to go. It's on the bottom. I had to like weld. I had to cut the top of the control arm and shave it so it fits in the new pocket that I made with the front subframe, and I had to make a bracket so I could mount the tension rod on the bottom and still, you know, do the tensioning it's supposed to be doing. So it's all nice and safe and shit. But yes, the tension rod is on the bottom of the control arm.
That's cool.
It scrapes. It's pretty low down there. It's not as low as the sway bar, but it's a pretty low piece. But yes, my tension rods are, I guess, correctly is.
That's objective, right? Like they're correct.
I'm glad we got enough homies in the chat too to bring up stuff. Like that's pretty cool. Yeah. You got a lot of friends, and it was cool because even just announcing that you're coming on, we got a lot of people that are like, Juan's the man. And it's pretty cool. I'm very stoked. I want to get into the blog really quick, and then I want to move on. So the blog, I want to promote somehow for you. So if you could send me links for that, I'm going to put it on the YouTube channel, so they can check that out. I also want to post it on the Pile Up Podcast Instagram, you know, under just so people can check it out. Cool. And I don't know if I can do it for the streaming services, but either way, you can go to our Pile Up Podcast to check it out. You can go to the YouTube to hopefully check it out. And then do you have is it easy, like an easy link?
Yeah.
To get what's the web address for it?
Relaxamigo.com.
That's what I thought. I honestly, that's what I figured. I'm going to actually put that in here. Relaxamigo.com.
Yeah, all the stuff that I just talked about is on there, like the coupe and the car when it was, you know, crusty, and when I got it in Baltimore and all that shit. It's all, dude, I
know everything. Because I wanted to bring up, you're also a very good photographer. And
you have a good eye.
You have a very good eye for anything artsy. And I say artsy, but it's just meaning you have a good eye. You know what I mean? Your pictures are very good. You are one of few that can like encapsulate that feeling. You know what I mean? Like I like that you can grab that feeling. So that's pretty sick.
Thanks.
So we'll put the blog out there. People need to know. Besides that, let's talk about the drift team. When did that become a thing? When did you were originally hanging out in vibes with you said another team, and then the boys from Auto Real Dream approached you? And how did they do it? Was it forceful? I hope it was forceful.
They're like, hey, yo.
It was, I've known Diego for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a while, we drove a lot.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh shit!
I'm just kidding.
They came down. All of them came down a lot to Spirit.
Yep.
I don't remember when, just a while back. They all came down, and so we drove with them a bunch, and it was fun. But then we did like 2 or 3 events when they were all like really, really hyped up. Oh shit! Zanky Min in the house. Love that. He's great. Local cat. He got a sick S14. He'd come down a lot, and said we drove a good bit together, and so we were chilling, and then like I think one day I was recently when he like right after he got his JZX, I was helping him do his fenders. Like the car had some crazy cuts on the quarter. You know how cars and it was like smoke, dude. They did some arts and crafts shit under that quarter panel. Seriously smoked. And so we fixed it. And then I went up there to go to York, where he's got his car to go fix his, we were working on his aero and shit. He was just like, you're part of Auto Real Dream.
So it was forceful. There we go.
The one that doesn't even drive anymore is now the one that made you part of the team. What the fuck?
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's like, you're welcome. You're part of the team. I was like, sick. We had talked about it before, like in passing and whatnot. And he was like, you're now on the team. I was like, sick. So then, I'd known all of them, of course, because I had driven with all of them a good bit in Richmond. And then, we went to do Speed and Style. We went to do SSE, the first one this year, and it was like wild because they love, like, especially Seb and David Bob were huge on like street driving their cars everywhere because they don't have a car. They're just like, right, I'm trying to go drifting. I have car. I drive car track. Simple. And it was just out of necessity. And so, like, the first event we had for that special stage, we had everything kind of against us, right? I had driven with them, but they were all in different cars. David Bob had his 8.6, it was NA, and then Nico had his Corolla. And so now David Bob had just boosted his car, and Nico had just literally gotten his car, and Seb hasn't seen his car in a while. And so we're like, all right, let's try and get into the final battle. And so Nico and David Bob drove their fucking cars from Jersey. Like, David Bob had just finished his turbo swap, and Nico had just gotten his car. They just drive it all the way to West Virginia.
Yeah, the Cresta, right? This is the Cresta?
Yep.
Yeah, he just got it, and he drove it,
The car. I mean, he had driven it in Japan, so it was like a pretty tried and tested car. The car's got like an iconic history, right?
Yeah.
And so we were just like, all right, we're here.
Yeah.
What do we do? It was like, so we don't have a plan, dude. We were just like, the plan was just don't suck. That's what we wanted to do.
Right.
Solid plan. That's our plan all the time.
Yeah, the best that you can. So we didn't have like a tested situation, like we're not like, okay, Chad up front, everybody piles up and we chase Chad, and Chad sets the pace. Sick. You guys have a recipe. It's tried, proven, and tested. You could even switch it around if you wanted, and you'd be good. They'd been driving for a while, but it had been a while since they had driven together because I think they had taken a bit of a break the year prior. And so it was a bunch of just new shit. And you guys know with drifting, like, when something is new and fresh, like, sometimes it's like, it's not always good. It's a whole new thing. It's not conducive to a good result. So it was kind of a gamble. And so we were trying to figure stuff out, like who goes in front, who leads, who chases, who goes where, what do we do? And once we put Seb in the front and the Fox crossed the track, the Fox was signaling us to have a good lap. There was like literally I think Mika had talked about it. It was a fox that ran across the track in front of Seb's car. Like as we go out, like we didn't even hesitate. Like we slowed down, the fox passed, and like we just kept going. And we didn't throw the lap away. We had a great lap, and that was
that's cool.
Seb was in front, and so we got into a groove, but it was tight, dude. We were like cruising through the roads in the cars together. Like that was incredible. It was really fun street driving with them, and that whole sensation was super tight. But yeah, the team's great.
So it's been a good, no, that's awesome. I'm glad you're with another group of good ass guys. You know what I mean? Oh, we got another low boy joining us in the chat. We got Ty.
Yeah.
Yeah. International low boys. I love it. That's fucking cool.
Tree's tight.
So, what's the future hold with you?
Are you gonna lower your car more?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's absolutely going to.
Speaking of future, does anybody got a pee? Because I could definitely take like a 2-minute pee break.
2-minute pee break? Go for it.
I want to do. Can we do a pee break? We've never done one, so this is gonna be fun. All right, 2 minutes on the clock. That's it. Ready?
Long.
Oh wait, a minute. Let's see. Let's fucking count it down.
Fine.
How fast do you pee? Go. Everybody go. 30 seconds. Go pee.
Well, 2 of us made it back. That's fine, I guess.
Are we the only ones back?
We for sure are the only ones back.
How long was it? Was it like I was?
I think he put a timer on it.
Bathroom.
Yeah, he put a timer on it. It was actually a minute.
I was just like when I got to the bathroom, I was just picturing everyone just sprinting, to the bathroom.
I mean, I ran downstairs to grab a drink and came back. I didn't go to the bathroom. Juan's back.
Go to the bathroom?
This is using microphone.
Oh, you're fine. We can hear you.
How's that? Is that better?
That's
you're
so much
good.
Better.
It is, right?
Beautiful. You couldn't be any better than you already are.
Damn, you're so nice.
Dude, what did he go? Is he gone?
I guess. I don't know.
Fuck.
Whatever.
He's just going to pee now.
Yeah. He probably did some taxes in that little 60-second break.
Tax break, not a pee break.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was a tax break. Let's be honest.
Incredible.
I mean, I agree with Ty. Damien is for sure taking a dump.
Oh, for
no way he's not. Like
his bathroom is like 10 feet from there, isn't it?
It is. He has my bathroom's probably a little closer, but his is pretty close.
Dude, his audio is good now, right?
Yeah, you're good.
So it was playing out of this fucking.
Yeah, it's his pulling off the camera. Mine might still be too. I don't know. I don't really know how to work this stuff. We did all just pee together. Albert, what am I supposed to do? Do the thing. What's the thing? The thing.
Oh, God, don't do that. Jesus Christ. This has gone to shit. This is going to be a great one to go on Spotify, that's for sure.
I forgot to put it on loop 1.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It came back.
Also, I forgot that I'm like double you guys, so I have a lot of pee. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
I got a lot of pee. Yeah, Chad. So there you go. There's one thing. So just remember to put stuff on loops if you want it to keep playing.
Yeah.
So why does Chad have access to this?
I don't trust you.
There you go.
I'm good with that. I don't want this. I don't want the team
you can have it if you want it.
I don't.
But with responsibility comes, what is it? Wait, with great power
comes great responsibility.
I don't want that.
I would trust you, James.
Precisely.
I just know that you don't also care to. So
also that
if you asked, you got it, buddy. Hey, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say maybe next time, but
Yeah. Did the chat entertain themselves while we were gone?
Everybody was talking about you or Ty said you were taking a shit, which we thought you were.
Oh, gotcha. No. I would have
other people also peed with us.
Hell yeah. This is awesome.
Bonded. Yeah, it was a good time.
This is amazing. Group P's is what brings us together. So I fucking love it. All right. So anywho, let's get back on. Does everybody feel refreshed? Who peed?
I grabbed another drink. I didn't go pee. So good.
I should have done that too. I forgot. I have a few more things, and then I want to get into some questions. We have some questions from.
Oh dear.
One, we'll ask some chat some stuff, but I have actual questions that we're going to go over first. Then we'll bring it to the chat if we haven't went through everything. But I do still have a couple questions on here, and we'll just fire them off a little bit because I don't want this to run super late for anybody. But also, we got Ty. Thank you for swinging in and saying hello. And we are going to have, he is probably one of the very next ones. We just have to figure out Australian time. So that means we have to wake up early or he has to stay up super late. And we'll figure that the fuck out. But yeah, love you. We'll talk to you soon. So Juan, currently in the drift scene, and I don't really like calling it a scene, but still that's what it is. Do you have how do you like the current drift scene right now in America? Do you have anything that you wish would change? Is there things that are starting to annoy you, or you just kind of you have this very freeing, you don't really give a shit because it doesn't bother you because it doesn't have anything to do with you, where I fucking end up, I don't know, over analyzing everything and I just want to make a difference and I don't know. But anyway, for you, how is the current scene of drifting in America? And I'm talking anything that comes to mind.
I think there's a lot of attention on it. There's a lot of attention on it that maybe wasn't there before. I think the way that builds are perceived, and I think that social media has done some damage to it, and it's also done some great things to it. I don't have strong preferences one way or another to it per se. I just hope that people continue to do stuff because they like it, because they think it's tight, because they're trying to push whatever they're trying to achieve out of it, and remove as many extraneous factors from drifting as possible. I think that's really it. You can get into the granular stuff of US versus Japanese drifting and whatever, and those things have all just been discussed so much, I think, and everyone generally gets the idea and whatever you want to do, and that's all cool. But if you're just thinking about drifting in general, I think there's a lot of just remember that it's supposed to be tight. You're supposed to enjoy doing it, and you're supposed to be doing it for you. You don't have to do something so you can, really quickly document it and publish it. I think it's a good thing that things are being recorded and posted and shared so that we can see how things are. But at the same time, sometimes I think people have the wrong motivation for why they're doing the things that they're doing, and it just doesn't come off as genuine. So a lot of the people that I respect and I think are great are really genuine people who are, you can kind of see that there's no insane desire to just you're owed some degree of attention for what you're doing or whatever.
Yes.
So I think that's just general. I think even drifting globally, right? That's where I think a lot of stuff has happened within the past 5 or 6 years, and how drifting is being portrayed and all that. But I just hope that they're my biggest thought on drifting in general, bro, all things aside, is just I hope we can continue to do it. That's it. That's all that I think about. I can have qualms about how people act in certain parts of the country, of the world with drifting, how they portray, and that's all, whatever. It sucks, and some things are good, some things are bad, whatever. And there's also it's very divisive, dude. it's incredibly divisive the way that our kind of hobby said, but everything's like that. Every hobby has people who do whatever. But I just hope we can continue to do it, dude. Like, I hope we can continue to afford to do it. I hope that tracks continue to exist. I hope that people can host events at tracks, that drifting is welcome at different tracks. I hope that you can continue to live in a part of the country or the world where you're allowed to enjoy a modified car, like in a respectful manner to other people. That doesn't make people want to change the legislation around a modified car, a track and inspired car, and you can continue. You don't get like your wallet. Nobody comes at your wallet for having a modified car, because it's just stuff is changing, bro, so much, and it's affecting everything, dude. And I think about, is my hobby going to be affected by drifting? Is all this stuff going to affect how I'm building cars, how I can go to racetracks, and the availability for a racetrack for me to go and enjoy drifting at? That's a lot of what I think about. It's just,
that's yeah, because it's weird because we're like in a weird time right now with tracks getting shut down, but also new tracks being built, but then a new scene of kid that is starting to put fire on us drifters, for them doing silly fucking donuts, and your crackle tune kids that are starting to affect the drivability of a modified car, where, like you said, the government or even just the local areas are starting to look into, like, we shouldn't allow that, and then that just spirals into us. We're not doing it for and I think you nailed it with doing it for yourself. I've always been a big advocate for your car needs to be built for yourself, and then if your homie gets fucking excited about it, that's just the icing. You know what I mean? Like, it's the best thing to do is present your car to the world, and then like your friends are like, yo, this is sick. But if you're presenting your car to the world because you want acceptance from people that don't fucking matter in your life, like, we all want to be seen and heard, but there's a degree, and you're prime example, because I've never seen anything but real from you. And honestly, it's very inspiring, the things that you do. And I got to tell you, man, you're a really good fucking dude. Like, I appreciate you. And so many people do too. Like, there's so many people that any single time you pop up, there's two fucking things that people say. One is how just fucking positive and rad you are. Like, you're very, and also from this interview, like, we've hung out a few times here and there, but like, holy shit, are you well spoken? Like, I feel like a fucking
yeah, he's very eloquent.
Dude, like, I feel like a Neanderthal. I literally feel like I'm like, cargo low. But no, straight up. It's how real you are. And then the second part, which is one of my favorites, is the best hugs. You give such good fucking hugs, my guy. And I fucking I love it. Nice. No, you're an amazing person. So no, that was a great answer. That was a great answer, and I agree 100%. So that's fucking cool. So it doesn't sound like you'd probably really change anything, but just to make sure that the future of drifting is still there. The availability to continue to do what we love is still there. And that was actually my next question.
If you think about it, like, any answer that anybody can give you to that question is a driver of that, right? Like if there's a problem in the drifting community or a problem in how drifting is perceived, like, that's any of that you'd want to change are things that could impact your ability to do that in the future. You want everything to be in place so that you can continue to enjoy it, and that's all a byproduct of, like, does this hobby have a future, and what can I do to make sure that it does that? Oh, shit.
You're sponsored now, buddy.
You got a sponsor from the podcast, so Pop-Up's Garage. I'd sponsor Juan any day of the week.
He's so nice, dude. What a nice guy. He saved my butt so many times with TIG welding some aluminum shit. He's the man.
That's awesome. Right. So I'd like to jump into questions from, and this is from a couple days ago. I put it up, just to let people know that, hey, Juan is going to be coming on.
Oh, well,
and it's just Damien's gone. Damien left.
All right.
Sick. So Juan, what we really want to talk about today is
I was ready to take over for that, because I have questions too.
No, I'm good. I ended up fucking let's not even talk about it.
Damien, this was so close from taking a serious downward turn when you let James lead the podcast. It was about to be this is about to go south real quick.
That's funny. Yeah. No, I was definitely Yeah, it probably would get weird. I was checking something, and then of course, like it just popped me out. That's because my fingers are too fast. So I put it out like 3 days ago, like on our Instagram. If anybody had questions or just whatever, we're just freeballing it. And we got some funny stuff, and we got some serious stuff. So, and we'll kind of like spitfire, like we'll go into it, but I want to get to all of them. So, and then go to the chat as well if there's any questions in there.
Answer concisely.
Yeah.
Got you.
So this one is going to be the first one. I also wanted to put myself down here because the questions I think it goes over my face. Oh no, it doesn't. Nice. So, what is your favorite model in your car?
I mean, the body drop for sure.
Body drop.
That's okay. The best. I mean, that was the most recent thing, but that's what allows everything to happen. The body drop is sick. Yeah. I can just all-terrain everything, run over. Dude, I went off track so many times at US Air, bro. Like, when the parachute all my aero stayed attached, and my stuff on the bottom is still stuffing.
I fucking no. I love it.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. No pies.
What does that mean?
Like, do we want to know?
Don't like
to cook the pies? Do you like to make cakes? Do you like to make tiramisu? We make tiramisu. No pies that we don't make pies. I don't know how to make pies. I don't know how to make the crust right.
Gotcha.
Are you a chef? Do you chef it up?
Dude, no. My girl laughing right now talking about chef. I can make a stir fry kind of, but no, I don't. I'm not a chef.
Oh. Speaking of her, she is also one that is just meeting her for kind of like we met before, but like her at Final Bout, like she's super nice. You guys are a power couple. You're adorable.
No, that's actually JB and his girl too. But yeah, my girl's fantastic. She signs up for some wild stuff, dude. Like I don't know. This is not a regular people activity that we do. This is just not.
Yeah, It's a special person that can put up with it. Yeah.
Support it. And you're trying to, it's not just like complacent support with, go ahead and do your thing. It's like, all right, I'm not only going to allow you to do your thing and like not have a problem with it, but I understand what your goal is, and we're going to work together to make sure that you achieve that. Cause I know that it's important, dude. And
right.
She does that,
that's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Kudos to use. We got favorite Suicide Boy song.
Dude, the one that you sing all the time, dude. There's like a little jukebox just bumping this thing left and right. The Gucci loves the Suicide Boys. You know that song all too well. Don't be playing. We know.
Is it the same song from him every time?
Yeah, it's the same. You've heard it. He was singing it about the whole time, over and over. He's like a broken record. He's like, here goes Gucci. Here goes Gucci bumping.
That's funny. We got, is it true he welded the bottom part of a 180 to the top part of a 240 to make it lower?
Yeah, that's how I have. My car is actually a 60.
Yeah.
I have a 60 SX.
You see how fast he did that math?
He's pretty good. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. That's funny. We got top 3 inspirations for low style drift car. I actually really like this question.
Oh, yeah. Elbrew.
What do you got for inspirational?
Yeah, he's a man of culture. He actually did the bulkhead mod, James. He's I think one of the few cars in the US that I've seen has done the bulkhead mod on his car. Is pretty tight. Elbrews. He's a super supportive guy. I've never even met him before. I don't even actually know his name.
All internet friends?
Yeah, we're always chatting. Elbrew's the man. He's super supportive.
That's super cool.
So I think the first one is my boy Nick. That's where I didn't have any. I wasn't like a cultured 240 SX owner, if you will. Like I didn't look into like option and all those things. I was so caught up in, dude, I need to like learn how to do cars like first. Like how does a car work? How does an internal combustion engine work? So I was so focused on learning that I didn't do what I think a lot of people do when they're young, is like they try to get like figure out stuff to emulate. It's like the culture came first. Oh, I need a car. Let's go. For me, it was like I just want a cool car, and I fell upon the S chassis. And obviously, I fell in love with it, but I didn't have that really intrinsic. Like, let's look at all these things to choose. My boy Nick was a big one, and then another one is I think he wrote to, I forgot his name, but Bad 180 SX. You know his car? He had that purple hatch that had the crazy bubbly hood. He had like lime green wheels.
The one in Japan?
Car, yeah.
I know the car you're talking about.
It was built.
It's
it was
crazy
built
looking.
by like I think E Prime Dido had like a role in that car as well. But it's just so Damien. It's a crazy car. It's insane. Like it's the styling of it is absolutely bonkers. The guy just went like he obviously didn't give a single fuck what people think about it, because I think by like modern standards, a lot of people look at that car and think it's absolutely hideous, and it's wild. It's a wild car, but I really admired that this guy was so incredibly bespoke in how he put the car together. He's like, I don't care about what people are doing. I don't care this. Like, I want the car to be low. It needs to have all the rims the same color, like neon green and purple. It was crazy. He got to have the SR. It's got to be laid out. He's got gnarly camber, big tires, and he was just like making it work. So he was a big one. And then I think the last one, probably Nigel Petrie. I don't think it's low style drift car per se, but because he had an engineer to slide. You know, he's got a pretty low 180 and whatnot. But the way he works, dude, the way that dude works, and he actually was a big inspiration for the blog because he has a sick website where he would document his builds as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, man, that was a big. I don't know if it's low style per se, Elbrew, but like in general, you know, he really was a big. I obviously try and emulate a lot of the shit that dude does, the website and all that, and you know his work is top tier, so that's a big inspiration there.
Oh yeah! All right, this one's a little is gonna hit a little low below the belt here.
Damn! James knows.
God damn!
No, James knows. He knows what he's got to do.
And we got a bunch of. Got all the homies trying to say
Mike,
some stuff.
Dude,
That's funny.
He's such a supportive guy too. He's at Pocono, bro. When David Bob and Diego and I smashed into each other, he was like, "You need a subframe, bro." I went to Mike's house and just pulled the subframe out and fixed the car the next day, dude. Thanks to him. What a guy.
Yeah, he's a stand-up guy. For all those that are listening, we are laughing because the question was, can you teach James how to drive a slammed car? and Mike's comment was, does yo chain hang low? He's just being a cutie. This one you kind of already answered, I feel like, with inspirational, influential.
His car, Zenkiman, your car is inspirational. That is an inspirational machine, dude. He has like as far as a street car goes, dude, like he has all of his interior. It's all super neat. And I love how much attention he put into having a really neat car on the inside, because he shreds it on the outside as well, obviously, and the car looks fantastic. But he is so particular. He didn't even try. I don't even think he put forth a really good effort. It's effortless execution on how like the interior of an S chassis looks. Zenkiman is the fucking man.
That's sick. And that question was, again, it was for those listening, wondering what are some cars that he finds inspirational / influential, and that was just we kind of touched on that, which is cool. I guess we need to find out about this. The question is, Albert said, ask him about bumping his Civic into stuff for fun.
Yeah, I used to do that when I was younger too. Not with a Civic, but you give it a little bump. It's fun. I mean, it's a good time.
You know, it didn't start fun. You know, like I have my little Civic, it's my daily driver car, and I park it in DC sometimes, and people bump into you when you're parking, and you just gotta accept it. You know, people's stuff gets bumped. So like, you know, it's at some point the bumper got scratched from people bumping it around, and I was like, all right, whatever. So when I like, you know, if I'm at like a parking garage that has like a wall in the back, and I gotta park my Civic, I just like back it into the wall.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, it's not gonna damage. Like it just bumps off the foam and the bumper support. So you just like you kind of like put it in reverse and you just put it neutral, let the car roll back, and then bump into the thing. And then
that's pretty funny.
You start parking.
Yeah,
that's the bumping.
That's pretty funny. This one is kind of just an all around. It sucks. So we probably don't need to get into that. But I know, that whole situation.
I mean, you described it well, bro. It just sucks.
Yeah, it just sucks.
For everybody
situation.
involved. You know, it was a shitty situation. I don't think a lot of people unhappy and whatnot. And it was unfortunate because that was like a hub for a lot of people to drive.
A lot of people.
You know, I think it was like,
Yeah.
again, it's a question of like, we got to do stuff to make sure we can continue to drift. And that goes across the board everywhere. And so that was a shame because there's a lot of people who stopped drifting entirely after that. Who was gone, they didn't have somewhere to go. You know?
Yeah.
Did you say this question out loud? That question was thoughts on how Spirit JP ended.
I did not. Thank you, James.
Yeah. So it was a shame because I was driving down there like once a month. I was street driving the Skyline down to drive for like a day. I'd drive down Saturday night, drift all day, drive home. It was a good spot. It was a good time, but
Yep. Yeah, it sucks. This is a question that I'm actually curious about too. After James forcing Chad to do this at a car show,
what did I do?
Does he limbo though?
I don't think I forced him to do that.
I mean, you were like,
Chad, did you win? Did you win? Come on.
No, I came in second, and it was only because there was a Miata that took the top off. I didn't feel like taking my top off. And I think it was also on like air ride too, so he could just like put it on the ground. But I stayed in until the actual end.
Chad, you won.
Thank you.
You won in our hearts.
He would have lost either
Chad,
way.
you won.
I would not have lost. Come on now.
I got videos here.
I've
thought about doing that, but I mean, at the end of the day, dude, like, here's the thing. Like, realistically, my car at the height it's at, and a Miata that's like pretty low. Like,
my roof line is still lower.
Yeah, like the Miata roof, dude. Like that, those things will just they'll decimate everything. They'll decimate everything.
That means I'm lower than James. For those not following along, that's exactly what that means.
Hey, this is a really good question.
Here we go again.
Yeah, James just disappears.
Closing my again.
Yeah, this is a really good question. We kind of went into this a little bit, but it is pretty cool. Real quick, just give us what's inspiring you? What's the drive?
Carl's the man.
Carl's the man.
It's just, I mean, it's that goal. Is like, can I get this car to drive somewhat close to a regular car, like to a regular drift car? That's the thing that I want to keep trying to do. Is I want to try and make it faster, because that's when you really start seeing problems. Like, we haven't even unleashed the real problems this car has at this height. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not even there yet, dude. We're probably like just starting to pour the glass out and seeing all the contents of this thing and seeing what other problems are still in this glass that have not been laid out on the table. There's going to be stuff that I'm going to have.
Yeah, and I want to. So I forgot again. I'm sorry for anybody listening. We're learning. Okay, get off our fucking back. The question is, what gives you drive to keep going against the grain? And it's from Carl, the co-host to the Faction After Hours podcast. Just a good dude overall. And then he, of course, gives him much love. That's funny you said about the speed, because that will start to change a lot of shit. And I've even noticed it in the Rolla. We went to Tennessee. And it was like the fastest I've ever driven that thing. And I was like, this car sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it was completely different animal, like going really fast. Exactly. And I'm not slam. So I couldn't imagine you guys, you know what I mean? Having everything changes. Every track is going to be a different hurdle and everything. Yep. So no, that's cool. So basically what you're trying to say is it's the inspiration and the drive is just to keep crushing those hurdles, to keep
that's exactly right.
One and just see where it takes
Solving
you.
Problems, bro.
Right.
Solving problems is sick. Like, that's super fun. That's the best part about cars. It's not, I got to change this control arm. I got to, swap out the broken trains. I got to take this motor out. It's like, all right, that stuff you just bolt it on. You follow instructions. What about the shit that does not have instructions? That stuff is fun. Like, what if you got to write them? And that's what we do on the blog is write, here's this problem. Here are the instructions how to solve it. And there it is for you. That's the best part of cars. And to answer your question, Carl, that's it. Is what other problems can I create for myself that
James knows all about that.
Yeah. I love problems.
Oh, thank you. That was a good answer. And the next question, and this is true, if you know him, how does he hug so good? It doesn't make any sense. You have an embrace that is
under the arms, bro.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You like that?
I guess. I don't know, dude.
That's funny.
We're hugging some great people. So when you hug great people, you're gonna have good hugs.
I mean,
that's all that I can say,
Spread love. Spread love. Here's another good one.
Yeah, quality question.
The question is, Rich Whiteman is asking, by the way. I have to say who's actually asking, because he's just a dick, and he's like laughing about it. Why won't James listen to you?
I can
just coming out hot next year. We're doing it.
I can only assume this is about going to like 17s up front, and I'm still just not ready for it.
Juan, please help our man. Please.
Help our man.
I'm begging.
Hang on.
I want this man to drive. I know he can drive. It's just a car.
This a little bit. Like, I want to unpack this.
Let's unpack it.
I feel James, we gotta unpack this a little bit. Like, tell me about the 17 and the 18 up the front. Like, what hurts about it? Like, when
nothing
visually
hurts, but like, imagine if there's 1 inch more.
Okay, wait. Hang on. So we're unpacking it here. This is important. So are you saying like you still want the fender to lip?
No, I just want like massive fucking wheel.
Okay. All right. You want a big rim at the front now.
Yeah, you like the big scrims.
I was thinking about 19s.
I see what you're saying. Have like just an idea. It's an idea to pick. Okay. When you have a rim in the front that has like it's a full face wheel, like a VSK that you have is a great example. Any full face wheel, and you just put like a much deeper lip on it. It makes the face look fucking gigantic. So like you're welcome to test fit any of my shit in the front.
We're fully unpacking it right now, right? So it's the same. Me keeping an 18 up front is the same as you just like taking your sway bar off and lowering it again because you just fucking want to, right?
Okay.
Because people don't do that. That's not fucking normal. Because we're full blown idiots.
I mean, we know it works, right? CMY's done it. We know it can be done. So. We just
Juan, you're 17 in the front?
Yeah, 17
okay.
in the front. Yeah.
And it's a very common for S. I mean, that's been forever. 17,
the
18 snagger.
Was this gangster, dude. Like the 18 up front with the really skinny tire, that's gangster.
It looks good. It's not good, but
it looks good. Yeah,
it looks
sick. I mean, dude, you want to like this? There's a problem that you are creating for yourself. You got to figure it out.
I got to figure it out exactly.
Yeah. I think the dampers in the front will help.
Yeah. We'll get that all switched around this year.
The softer joints, yeah.
Boy, I hope so.
No, it'll happen. And then, James, you might have to cut you got to do the bulkhead.
We're cutting everything this winter. Like we were talking about like
cut that car in half.
Yeah, we're cutting everything in half. It's like sideways, vertically, everywhere.
Vertically,
the top.
Perfect.
Yo, you won't chop the top.
The top would actually be kind of dope.
That would be dope. I will say we bust on James a shit ton. But it's funny because we know he's a fucking ripper.
Yeah, he can drive really well. It's just his car is not allowing him to do it.
We always talk about it because and Rich knows it too. Like I've seen James consistently put fucking crazy laps in where I was like, that this dude can fucking wheel. Yeah. And he denies it. He's very humble. Mm-hmm. But like in his Skyline, there he goes again.
I swiped the wrong direction.
Send a twin drift.
Yeah, in his Skyline, he was fucking insane. I was so angry at fucking Thompson because my car was giving me problems, and I was so jealous of James just going lap, 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 and they were all the fucking same. Like slays it. So we have no doubt of his abilities. We just want to make sure that he can get the abilities in his actual D car. You know what I mean? Like I want to see him confident in his actual car. So I'm excited because I know, James, you did say, I think I saw quote, you were like, I'm going to be taking the Juan book and just going through it.
Yeah. I'm definitely doing the whole blog.
The whole blog is like, So no, we're excited about it. I mean, I want to see him, and I'd like to see anybody, like out there with the confidence that he had when he was driving the Skyline for fucking sure. Like that was sick. Minus the curb. But I kind of feel partially to blame for that curb.
Yeah, you were hyping us up. And
I was hyping you up.
I could have ate it too. I could have definitely ate it, but I didn't. But James decided to just right in there.
What?
Pocono, when I didn't warn you guys.
Sunday morning.
Well, that guy at the gas station was like, "Yo, I saw you guys drifting yesterday. You were awesome."
Yeah, he was hyping us up too.
First lap, hit third, fucking faint, straight into the curb.
We had good laps all weekend though. Besides that, it was good.
Mm-hmm. It was a good time.
No, anyways, that's awesome. Yep.
Next, off of me.
Let's get off of James. We love you, James.
Relax.
So awesome. I want to jump into the chat really quick, and I do see a couple questions. So, opinion on subframe risers?
Oh yeah, dude. That's like the first thing you got to do, man. Like the subframe. Like, you're just raising the subframe in the back. Like whatever car you got that like has that option, that and your goal is to some point do low, like do that. You know. Fun fact. That was the first modification I ever did to a 240SX in my entire life. And it wasn't because of low things. I wasn't about low things back then, but the car just had, the subframe was bent when I had bought it. So that was like my first project. It was crazy. Had my boy Ivan come and help me do it because I didn't know what the fuck to do. So the solid subframe riser was the very first mod I ever did. So for anybody wanting to do low stuff and you have an option to raise subframes front and rear with any bolt-on solution that your particular platform offers, like do it and get whatever the option is that goes the highest, whatever the highest thing is. Because I know you can get like a poly one for an S chassis that like leaves a little bit of shit between the frame and the subframe. It doesn't actually raise it all the way up flush. And there's like solid ones that go all the way up. Whatever gets it the highest. Yeah, big subframe riser is good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's for an E36 Euro trash.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
I'm gonna jump in here real quick, Damien. I know there was a question way earlier that we just kind of glazed over because we weren't in the question time. But CJ was asking,
not that one. What the fuck?
what spring rates do you have out back?
That's a good one.
It's 12 and 10, 12 front, 12 front, 10 rear. It's not.
That's like pretty soft.
Stiff,
I'm actually like. Yeah. Because I mean, 12 and 8's like standard 240, isn't it?
No, 9.6, 8.6,
oh, is it?
8.5, that kind of.
Okay.
They generally don't go double.
Oh, IS. That's IS stuff.
Yeah, on IS.
Yep, my bad.
Right? Like if the usual recommendation is 9 and I just went up to a 12, it's not. It's right. The car does drive like. If we're not hitting stuff, and it really is because it's not because the car's bouncy, it's because the car literally hits the floor and it's kind of, it doesn't feel great on your back and shit. But if we're not hitting stuff, like the car drives like not bad. It's really comfortable.
I've ridden in his car and it's comfortable. He took me for a ride in Chicago after he took the sway bar off. I was like, yo, I've never ridden in this. Can I go for a ride? So we just like rode around like the complex where the hotel is, and it is surprisingly comfortable. Like for as low as that car is, I'm surprised how comfortable that car is.
That's wild.
Spend the money. Like here's another big tip, Damien. Spend money on good springs. Like get upgraded. Like get the Swifts or whatever equivalent. There's a bunch of other companies that are making like good quality springs. Get good short springs, and get like you do want a little bit stiffer because you can't just be like a super soft car, but you don't need to go super stiff. Just get good springs.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm sorry, James. I'm not doing this on purpose.
Yeah, well, like, why do you keep this? I fucking get it. What the fuck?
It's funny because it's literally just because I didn't turn it off yet. Hey, so I do have a few more really quick from some people here. And they might be just really, really like quick funny things, but Sabotage Tyler ask him about Lee Lungi.
No, you are terrible, Tyler. Lungi.
Is that how you pronounce it?
No, Tyler. Look, we're gonna go into an Assetto tangent, Damien.
Oh, jeez, I love it.
I got into Assetto recently. I was telling you guys about it and Chad when we were playing earlier. I actually miss playing with you guys a lot. That was really fun, by the way. But
it's wintertime, so
yeah. I know you guys have been doing a lot of stuff, and Damien, you've been working super hard on everything on your brand and stuff. So I know you guys have been super busy. But yeah, I got into the Assetto, and they all, Tyler and them, Nick, JB and Albert, they all got me into it. And so we've been like doing the computers thing together, and they've been showing me how to set it up, and it's been super helpful because I used to shit on Assetto. I was that guy. Yeah. I'll admit it. I was like, why are you spending all this money on this shit? And we've been foreign. Why do you spend all this money on this stuff when you could just spend it on your car? Why? And I didn't get it. And then I got it, and I was like, all right, I get it. It's like, it's totally immersive. It was fantastic. And so Tyler got us to play in this like Nori Yarrow Cup thing where you're grip racing. So he got me into grip racing. Now it's like super fun. Now we spend I actually don't remember the last time I drifted on a Seto, bro. All we've been doing is grip racing on a Seto, and he got me in this league. And so we do these races like Saturday night, and I keep getting rammed in the race, and it's so frustrating because I'm trying to win and I get smoked. Yeah, that's Tyler and Lungy's his boy. Lungy's Tyler's boy. But yeah,
Seto. Gotcha.
I'm glad they got me into it.
Yeah. Here's a good one from Andy East.
Oh shit! Hell yeah!
How many times have you been pulled by VA troopers?
Yeah, it was definitely. I used to street at the Raleighs, dude, and then VA they don't play because and VA if you go you guys remember when you went down to Richmond, if you go over 80 in Virginia, you get hit with a red bro. Yep. So dude, I'm driving that car on the street, right lane. 60, we're just relaxing. I try to be as civil as I possibly can. I got I do the pewters. No, I try. But I try to be civil. And so it happened a couple times. One time I hit a road reflector and it knocked it off and it hit a police car.
What? What?
Oh man,
it's kind of a problem, dude.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Oh man,
hit a road reflector somewhere, but they, they're cool. I'm just look, dude, I'm trying. I'm sorry. It looks like this. I promise it's safe. I promise it's safe. My tires are tread. Nothing is rubbed. They always say that that they can hear the tire hitting the fender. I'm like, there's no way, dude. So that tells me they're hearing something. Yeah. I don't know what they're hearing is hitting back there, but they're hearing something.
That's funny.
But yeah, we're driving, trying to be relaxed and not being a liability. But yeah, that's a lie. Actually.
Sabotage Tyler in the chat saying, "I've watched Juan cut 3 lanes to take an exit."
No, that was probably Nick's fault. Nick's fault. He probably was directing us in the wrong direction or something. He'd be Nick be driving his car kind of like a Raleigh, he sits up too straight. His shoulders are too high up over the seat. His head's damn near touching that thing. He's just sitting there watching him. He's directing us in the wrong place. So I blame Nick. That's civil.
Funny.
Dude.
That's
funny.
The
Raleighs, they're not fans of the hatch.
I believe it. This is a pretty good one. How much Rotussi does he put in his KA?
About 4.5 quarts of the
This is from Evisser. That's the same.
That's his fault. He's the dude. He be driving funny.
That's funny. Yeah. Here's kind of a cool question, and this is funny because now you're KA, you're dual cam KA. Me as well. We got James over here being the SR20 is God's motor. But Zenki Min. How do you pronounce that? Zenki Min.
Yeah, you pronounce it. Yeah, man. Spot on.
Dream engine setup for drifting. What would that be for you?
Dude, something that works.
So you just care about it's easy, it works, it fucking gets you sideways, and
yeah. I'm not I'm not one of the motor people that's dude. All right, I will disclose this on the television. Why not?
On the television.
Uh-oh. Oh no!
Television and the radio.
I don't even care. We'll disclose it. Car make Revive be having V8s in their cars, and they probably love it because they're Australian and they love the motor and they all think it's sweet. But when you think about an LS and an S chassis, bro, it's such a little motor. It's perfect for low cars. It's tiny. It's so short. It's actually good. Tyler and I were just shooting the shit one day and talking about thinking about it, and we kept thinking about wow, this actually sounds like a rather reasonable solution for a lot of the problems that I have. You don't have to cut the hood for it. It's tiny, and then I don't know. I don't think I could ever follow through with it, but it was I think I appreciate just about everything, dude. I'm not one of those fuck this motor, fuck that motor. I think a CA18 is cool. I think an RB is cool. I think SR is cool. I think K is cool. I think whatever. I think motor is cool. If you can make it work, sick. If you can put any motor in an S chassis, make it sick. You rock, dude. You kill it. Dream motor. I'll probably just K.
Whatever. Yeah, KT. I was gonna ask you if you were gonna turbo eventually.
Yeah, something. I need something, dude. I need something.
SR20, buddy.
We'll need some juice next year. Look, James, how about this?
Stay slow with me, buddy. Don't go to an SR.
I'll exchange body drop. I'll body drop your whole car. In the meantime, I'll borrow your motor.
Perfect. That works for me.
Hell
That's
yeah.
funny.
We're gonna put it in the polisher.
Hell yeah.
Put it in the polisher. I'll give you a ride in the Rolla. You'll want KAT pretty quick.
Dude, your shit is sick. Your shit is so sick.
I'm definitely KAT the world.
Yeah, the HTT formula kills it.
HGT guys, yeah, they know what's up. We got Pop-Up's Garage asking, bring up the S chassis meet.
Oh, yeah, no, that's cool, man. I'll talk about that for a bit. And that was kind of, it's the same theme, are we gonna have somewhere to enjoy stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Do I have a future in this hobby? And I'm sure all y'all, because y'all old like me, will empathize with this, but there was a time in your lives when you were so pumped to get your car, wash it, and it's kind of crusty. It's not the best looking thing, but you're super pumped on your car and you want to wash it and you want to go and sit in a parking lot for 2 hours and talk to other dudes about your car. And most of those dudes were people you know, people you drifted with, people you grew up with, people who mentored you, people that you would love to go share your car to within that small area, right? Mm-hmm. And that was something that you really looked forward to. And this goes back to those MA240 days that I was telling you where like we'd have these meets and you can go and you can see the fucking people that you're on the internet with. You can talk to them about the cars. Like, hey, you just posted your build thread about this. It was sick. And I like get a better look at it at the meet. And they would say that on the forum, bro, golden ages. Like that stuff was so incredible. Mm-hmm. And I really hold those memories super fun. And I'm kind of bummed I didn't really cherish them more when I was experiencing them. What the fuck did I know, dude? I was a young person and appreciate that. So I used to go to, to meets here and there. And when I would go, it was just like people standing there with their cell phones, like in the entrance and the exit, and like, It's like young kids who are like doing burnouts and their like mom sobs. There's dudes in GTRs who are like revving their motors and there's people like filming the flames coming out of the back of them. And then the police come and dude, I just was like, wow. So this is what, like going outside, like this is what grass touching is now. So I was like, all right, back to the dungeon. I'm going to sit here and just not leave and just only go to the track. That's all I did. And I'm sure it was the same for you guys. I'm sure there was a point when you stopped going out and you didn't think it was worth it. Either the police hassled you or, it was too hot or people were being silly at the place and you couldn't, it just was no longer about the cars. That was the big problem. And so I didn't go out for a long time when that stuff started, transpiring in events that I went to. And I'm sure there were good ones, but the knowing that like this kind of shit existed near me, I was like, all right, this is whack. Fuck this. I'm just going to go to the track and not see people. Yeah. And so Min and Daniel, I think, started doing these meets. They were like drift meets. And it was actually all the people that like drifted in this area that they went to like Drift Nirvana.
Oh, that's cool.
The Richmond events, the Spirit events, and like it was all the drivers that were like in this area. And so we are the people in this area who go drifting. And so you go to the meet and it's like the same people that you saw at the track. And so I was like, I love the track. Track is sick. Track people sick. And now you're saying track people are here on a weekday. Like that's
fucking cool.
This is exactly what I loved about, washing, like, getting off work and washing my car and streeting it to this place and hanging out with a bunch of people. Like I that all came back to me at an event, and it was like a bunch of cool people. No one was revving. People were just chatting, and it's like, cars you don't see on the street because you generally see them at the track. So that's what that meet was. It was.
Oh, that's cool.
It was that, and so people came from like Richmond to these things, but they were like up in Northern Virginia, and so Zenkiman and Daniel and everybody who was involved with that did a really nice job of like bringing back this community that we had, because we were all old, jaded fucking people who hated, the youth and shit, and we're like, I miss it. And it was great because there's also a lot of young kids that went to that meet, and it's like, look, this is what cars are supposed to be. And so there was people who got inspired by going to those meets who would put their cars together with the aspirations to show the meet people like what they've done and what they learned. And that's exactly what cars used to be. And that's how my experience was. And I'm like, it's so great that these people can experience this again, and these people can experience what this used to be, because all you hear, like, if you're like a young person listening to this, you've probably never gotten to experience this stuff to a degree, because all you see is what happens now. So all you hear is these fucking old farts on the computer talking about these things you never get to experience. And it was like, now they get to experience it and see what it was like. And I think it's a really positive influence for people who are trying to get into it, because that's what it's genuine, dude.
Right. No, that's really cool. Hell yeah.
I'm super jealous you have that meet. Every Thursday I see somebody post about it. I'm like, damn it, I'm too far away to make it, but I would love it.
I bet you guys have a, whether you want to admit or not, you have a hold on drifting. And I think that you have the power. If you wanted to do that, you could, and it would be really empowering.
So I have a vision, and I'm gonna eventually do this. This is the second year that I said I was gonna do this. So, but I wanted the Smile Death After Dark is something that I wanted to do, which was private meets, and it sucks that you have to keep them private, but it's something that I've been thinking about, because we're not far away from each other. We have the Hayes boys, we have Sinister, we have some good people, even in the chat. There's like several people in the chat that are pretty local to us, which is really rad. And I've been trying to find a location that I can hold something that the kids, and it's sad that we have to get to, well, and we're classifying, because a lot of them are fucking adults and it's scary. But the mentality of going to these organized things and ruining them. And they don't think they're ruining it. They think that they're living in, it's a fucking movie, bruh. But like they're fucking ruining what is something so beautiful, and that they're not really getting to experience it. Like, what they think is a movie is trash. Like, it is trash. There's no community. It's all it's fucking selfishness. That's all it is. Is like, I need to gram this. I need to gram this. Yeah. But and you're right. Like, so I'm an old fuck. So I've been doing this shit for the longest time. And some of my favorite times was I had a little car club, and we would go to Sheets, and all we did was sit at Sheets. There was probably 5 or 6 of us, but like, that was it. That was car culture for me. And it felt so family. It felt so real. And randomly, like, a baller MR2 would pull up, and we'd be like, yo, come over. And he'd come over and hang out. And it was just some random guy. You know what I mean? And like, you can't do that anymore. No. Now, like, you tell him to come over, and he's like, yo, they're going to fucking try to rob me. I'm going to rob them first. You know what I mean? Like, something crazy. Like, you don't even fucking know. Everybody's so fucking trashy. I'm so fucking angry. I'm such an old fuck. But anyway, that's cool that you guys are doing that. And I wish you the best, especially if the dudes in the chat are the ones that are setting it up. I always just say, be careful, and keep going. Is that what you thought I was going to say, Chad?
Yeah. Talking about the meet that you've been trying to have.
Yep. So I literally am still working on that. And it sucks that you're so far away, Juan, because you would always be welcome. I mean, you could actually come up for the weekend. Actually, I didn't think about that.
I would totally go.
Yep. But there was something that somebody just said, and I'm sorry, Chad, but somebody in the chat said that they might be drinking too much, but why does Chad look like Gilbert Gottfried?
I did not know who this guy was, and I had to Google this guy after this.
For real? You didn't know who this guy was?
No, I don't
think I look like him at all.
But then I lost my shit for a second.
If I was drinking, maybe. You know what I mean? I wish you had his voice, which would be fucking sick.
I don't even know how to like try to do that voice.
No,
he's like super shitty.
Yeah. And Albert, yes. Albert said Damien always wants meat. I do.
Sure.
I do. I had a big steak. A big steak today. I know what you're talking about though. But anyway.
Yeah.
So no, that's fucking sick. So kudos to that, because I think we need to get back to that. Anybody in the chat have any questions for Juan before I ask Juan if he has any shout outs or any of the other cool stuff? Also, Juan, I'd like you to give out some stickers. Can you give out 2 stickers? So Juan, can you see the chat?
Yeah, I can.
You're not getting one.
Wait.
Yeah, you have to give out stickers?
I want you to pick 3 people in the chat, and it could be random, it could be your boys, I don't care. And Logan, we would all you boys ought to come to Southwest Wisconsin and show the people how to do it. I wish we were that fucking close to Wisconsin, because
that'd be great. I'd be at US Air all the time.
We were just in Wisconsin.
That's
We
US
were
Air.
there.
Yeah, we were just
Yeah.
there one.
Yeah, sure.
You too, by the way. I don't know if you knew this, but you were there.
That was far.
We got, how are these subframe nuts?
Fucking Nick, dude.
What?
You see,
I
you
said-
know how they are, Nick, because you've seen them.
How do you
You've seen
feel
them.
about
The-
Cheesecake Factory?
The studs that hold the nuts that hold the subframe are kind of like,
Gone.
yeah. There's like not a lot holding them things left.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Juan, pick 3 people here in the chat.
Okay, there was so
Could be
I need to
Anybody.
whoever this is, you're gonna have to.
I'll write down the name. That's fine.
Yeah, because you gotta also mention because I have new ones that are gonna be coming soon, and so you can have them.
Oh, you got new stickers?
No, I'm gonna get new stickers made. I know people always ask
sick.
me, and I'm so bad
I've been
about.
asking. God
Yeah,
damn it.
Chad. I know. I owe Chad sticker. I've been.
So
bad.
we're gonna give out some special edition. We'll give out some special edition CSK ones.
Oh, sick.
I was gonna say this is one giving away our stickers, right?
our stuff.
Oh,
We're not.
cool.
I'm not gonna
give away.
I'm not
your
gonna
stickers.
force. I'm not gonna
Oh,
force
I had
you.
no problem. I thought it would be great. I'd love
No,
to give somebody a
And
sticker.
you can do that too if you'd like. So
Sick.
so pick out anybody, and then whoever Juan says in the chat, you need to DM the Pile Up Podcast Instagram, and I want you to send me your name and address so I can ship it out for you.
Okay, how many people do you want me to pick?
3 people.
3 people. All right. I know we have to give one to Albert because he's a very loyal fan.
I don't think I've really sent him much, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Albert,
He's-
that's a lot of fucking love. Albert,
Yeah.
message
I know
me.
Albert's always on the pod. He's always
Mhm.
here. I see him. I think Albert. And
All
then
right.
I think we can do. Let's do the other 2 just random. I'm
Do
gonna
it.
scroll this motherfucker. I'm gonna put my finger here and whatever it lands on.
I like it.
Oh, this is good.
This is good.
Logan.
Logan.
Logan, nice.
Logan Zart, if you hopefully you're still listening, DM the Pile Up Podcast Instagram with your name and address, and we're going to send you some shit. And for those of you that are listening, just listening on Spotify, we do this thing on the YouTube, which will have episodes that are visually. This is going to be an audio, very little visual. But for those of you that are just listening, check out the YouTube because we do basically kind of like a show. We watch drifting, we talk about drifting, we show highlights. Chad's going to kick down his door eventually.
I swear to God, one of these days.
It gets pretty fucking crazy, but we do a lot of giveaways and little game shows and everything. So please, if you're just listening on Spotify or any of the other, Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, check us out on YouTube. And it's very simple. We are on the Smile Death Network. Very easy to find from our socials. But all right, Juan, next for the pick. Let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna go to the top because there was a lot of. We went to the bottom.
Yeah.
All
Scroll the
right.
whole way up.
Scroll it, baby.
Keep scrolling.
I gotta make sure.
How's
Hang
that
on,
song go?
Dude, I don't know how
You
to
nailed
do
it.
the computer.
You fucking nailed it.
Dude, I pressed the
Which-
button for the wheel and it like. Hang on. let
Oh
me fix
God. One's
Okay.
on like a whole different screen right now.
Yeah. Wish he left like me, like an idiot. I just
Oh,
like
it's Tyler.
Fucking clap.
we got Tyler.
It was like
All
it was
right.
like between White Trash Panda or JB when he said foot cam and when Tyler said somebody tell Juan he's using
Foot
the
cam.
wrong mic input in my.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So is it Tyler?
Sabotage Tyler?
All right, Tyler, message me. I need name and address. All right, so Juan, the next thing is I want to give you a chance to, if you have any shout outs, if you have anything that you want to promote, if the team's doing stuff, if your blog, if you're, whatever. So push it.
Shit. Yeah, I love my team. I love Nico. I love Sab. I love David Bob. I think it's nice. Like, there's definitely the team definitely merits a shout out because my car ain't really set up normal, and I think a lot of teams would be like, "Get that fucking weirdo away from my car." Like, I am not.
We know about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
these two, right? Who's this guy?
It's funny because we went to Chicago and I had to do all this weird shit. It's like, hey, let me go take off my sway bar. They're like, what the fuck?
That's so
dude?
funny.
Like, yeah, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, we'll see. Just weird stuff like that, and they're super. There's never like a problem with it. It's like just make it
Supportive.
drive. Yeah, they're supportive. They're supportive of it, and I think that's good because I do think, I have gone to the track sometimes, and people have been like, I'm not driving with I don't drive with low cars because they think it's like fucked, and I get it. You probably think it's fucked, and it kind of is fucked. So I understand it. So it's nice having a team that's just like it's all good, bro. Let's go drifting, and we're all gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And so they, I love them all for that, and they've all been really, really great about it, and supportive of all the stuff that we're doing. So it's cool. Definitely shout out to the team for being sweet,
for putting up with your ass.
Yeah,
I think there's a misconception with being low and slow. And the first time I drove with you, I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like he's right there. Like you're not slow. You know what I mean? Even a stock KA, like you were there. Like you're quick. James is one too. I see his fucking car take off sometime. No, it's not.
Sometimes, like
if you do this, it's fucking moving, my guy. It's moving.
He barks, James. I saw you at Twin Drift, bro. I seen that shit firsthand. That shit.
Yeah, you.
I wasn't
barks. I like that.
I didn't even go.
He wasn't even there. That was somebody else. Doppelganger.
That was Rich. He lowered his car for a day.
Imagine. That's pretty funny.
And then shout out to my girl. Like I was telling you guys, she's been sweet. She's made my program our program, so she wants to help. Me.
That's fucking awesome.
Like I gotta work on a car super late. I can't, be back for dinner. I gotta, that kind of stuff that takes a toll on relationships. Like she gets it, and we balance it out. So big shout out to her.
Yeah.
And my parents are cool, bro. I gotta shout out my parents. My dad got me into this stuff. We've taken it in a whole different direction. And my mom loves drifting. She actually came drifting with me a lot in the car. She'd come.
That's cute.
Can I get a ride? Hop in the ride, and we'd go drift. My mom, she always loved thrills. So my parents.
Jesus Christ.
And the boys. What?
Sorry, we just got.
Yeah, well, we're listening, but like Matt just said. Did I miss anything good? I see Chad's door is still intact.
Yeah, it's still there.
Funnier than it should have been.
Relax.
We want Chad. We want Chad to kick it in eventually. That's the goal. So the goal is to get the goal is to get this podcast so big that we can get a sponsor to pay for the construction. That after he kicks it in, it can get fixed to 100%. Yeah, that's our goal.
So fucking funny.
Oh, I hate us.
Chad, you should kick it now, dude. Just like
Juan,
man. I would totally listen to Juan too, which really sucks. But I do not want to do that.
Chad,
we've been trying since the podcast started. Like, kick your shit.
We're on episode 14. I wonder when it's gonna.
Hold up. We gotta have a little discussion about this door. Look, Chad, I think you should do it, and let me tell you why.
Oh, god damn it.
I think you should kick the door because you should kick it, and I think it's important that you do that like now, dude.
Like right now.
Yeah, Chad, I will go. Look, I'll tell you, I'll make you a deal. I'll go up one of these weekends and I'll help you fix the door, and then we can get lunch.
Oh man.
James,
that's a pretty good deal.
James, you got perfect plan. James, hey, wait, Chad, if you kick your door right now, we'll get another door and we're gonna put it in James' polisher. You're gonna have a polished door.
Shit, yeah.
I just keep thinking about how funny it would be if he goes to kick the door in and then like a piece smashes into his computer and like breaks the screen and
so I can't do this podcast anymore.
Yeah,
great.
Chad,
that's fucking great.
Listen, if this was my house, this door would have been broken already.
This is not
better. My house. It's not better because that's not how this works.
No,
you should give me the contact. You got to give me the contact for your roommate.
He's going to donate you a door.
Oh, we have people in the chat that would fully fucking pay for this.
Literally, everyone's in here saying
they would pay for it.
That's a sponsorship. Yeah. It's an internal sponsorship. Chad, smoke that door right now.
Oh, just his foot goes through. Did you ever see?
Oh God!
Did you ever see fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Or wait, I think it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Where he goes to kick the door in, is just his foot goes through, like his leg just goes through. That's super fucking good.
All right, what is that door really stopping? Hold on, before you call it, what is that door really stopping?
What do you mean stopping?
Like it's a door; it closes things off. So like,
yeah. That's the hallway to the
the
whole
other
hallway
to your computer. So
okay, and also if I kick it, it's gonna fuck this picture up. That
no, you're gonna kick it the
a
other
lot
way.
on. It's gonna come in. Oh, you want me to kick it out? That's not gonna happen, bro.
I think you should like run full tilt through the door. You know, like
Oh, that'd be even better. Like kind of
like the
just go
Kool-Aid
give it like a wiggle. Like is it you know you can kind of tell. Is it like is it that kind of a door? Is it like a door you can run through?
No, I can kick that shit.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think it's.
Yeah, James, you're in a hotel where you don't have to pay for a door. Why don't you kick your hotel door down?
Yeah, those are probably strong doors, dude.
That's a way stronger than.
Oh man, Kool-Aid Man style would be pretty good. Pop up
would be pretty funny.
That'd be pretty good. So
you did it into the pod room.
That's what I'm saying.
Go out and kick it inwards.
All right, we got a sponsor. So One Word Glove Co. will sponsor this door.
Dude, come on, dude.
Bro.
Oh fuck. He's gonna do it eventually. Watch. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. But Juan. So shout out to the parents. That's awesome. It's cool when the moms come for fucking ride-alongs. I almost had mine pass out on me, which was super fucking cool. That's like it's like honestly one of the best. It's the best because they're like, this is what you do? You know what I mean? They have no clue. And then they're like, holy shit.
This isn't racing. You're not racing anybody. Who are you winning? You're on the track by yourself. Who are you racing?
Did you win?
Yeah, did you win? So anything else you wanted to shout out here? I want to put up relaxamigo.com again for your blog.
Quality content.
Yep. I also want to, before we get off here really quick too, I do want to say something to everybody in the chat and just anybody that's listening. We did amazing with the first shift knob drop, and I want to thank all of you. So for the Smile Death shift knobs, the very first shift knobs, we are completely sold out, I believe. Every single one went. So that's really cool. And I got yelled at. Yeah, I got yelled at because we don't have enough. So we are going to be ordering more. Thank you again for the support. We do have smilexdeath.com is the website, which anything, of course, helps. This stuff does cost a little bit of money. And we're going to be switching over into the radio format. So, but yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody listening and to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys and girls so much. But Juan, any more shout outs? What do you got here, buddy? Besides, we got your blog.
Boys. I mean, definitely the boys, Albert, JB, Nick, Maddie, Noah, all them dudes. They're some of the guys that like I shared a lot of the body drop stuff with in the beginning. They were the ones that I talked it through. I was like, yo, Buck, cut the fuck out this thing. And they're like, what, dude? And then I sent them a photo of the car of like the panel off, and it, they've always been super, and they're guys that drive hard as fuck and fast. So they, the low stuff probably won't work for them. So they recognize that, and they're all about really good technique. And so they've never been like, and I talked to them like, hey, I'm struggling to do this thing. Like, they're not like, raise your car. They're like, let's try and figure out how to make you drive better with your setup. So they've always been incredibly supportive, and Nick and everybody, and Tyler and Moose and everyone. They're always people who just respect and love different shit, despite it not being the way that they choose to do things. And it's always a joke, James, this, like, it's always a back and forth between both. Yep. And it's healthy to do that. It's healthy to have that back and forth. You should surround yourself with people that don't agree with how you do things, but they respect and they want you to be able to do it. So shout out to them people. Shout out to everybody from Nova, Gucci, Zenki Man, Jazz, everybody that hosts those meets, the people that are a part of that. That's all there. Those are the dudes that make that stuff happen. And they're just trying to make as much of a difference than they can in drifting as possible. And that's good.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. James, you know about that heckling. What did Josh say to you after you beached it at Final Bout?
No, he said that before I beached it.
Oh,
and that was that was Josh. So we were sitting on grid waiting for someone to get pulled off track, and he said, if you guys raise your cars, we could get more seat time.
Crazy.
And then so like that one time I was following Chad and completely fucked up and went like onto the other side of the track, but I was like about to go off. I was like, I know I can't save this, so got back in it. Yeah,
that's fucking funny.
My low car is not losing seat time. I'm not getting my shit beefed.
That's so funny. Optimus Prime with a comment. Juan single-handedly showed me how well low car can drive. How well a low car can drive. But no, that's awesome.
Super D at the bout. Just sick.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Cool. Well, I appreciate you spending 2 hours and 50 minutes with us, almost 3 hours. No, yeah, it went really, really fast. But no, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate the information. We appreciate everything that you're doing for the 240 community, for the Drift Low community, for pretty much any community that you're involved in. It seems like you're a very positive outlet for that, which is really, really, really cool. And we love you. So, anything else you have to say before we end up rolling?
Dude, I'm just pumped that you have a bunch of people you have an audience, dude. That's cool. I think you're a person who wants to make drifting continue to exist. I've seen the way that you do events, bro, and it's been fantastic. For all you Nova dudes that are in here that are looking for places to drive, the trip up to Pocono for the events that Damien hosts are really well worth it, dude. And I really recommend that you guys go and check that out if you're looking for some of the good vibes and stuff that we would have in drifting and whatnot, and stuff that you look back on. It's run by old people, dude. Old people who know what's up. That's good. Us old people, we want drifting to be cool still. So definitely go up to Pocono. So thank you, Damien, for everything that you're doing in that regard, and for having this channel, putting me on this thing, dude. It's cool.
Yeah.
You guys wanted me to come in here and talk for 3 fucking hours. That's sick.
Right. So. No, it was good. You're very well spoken. Yeah. I actually that was a good segue to something that I probably should bring up, because I do get messaged a lot. So this is kind of funny, but so coordinating events and stuff, I did actually withdraw myself from RSD, as in really helping out, but we will continue, of course, to be there and support it. The Hayes boys are, of course, a part of that as well. I needed to step back a little bit for mental health, to also focus on something that I feel is, it's not really, that's the main point, but Vibes has my heart. So the Vibes Drift event that me and Joe Sansone and a team of amazing people put together. And I wanted to be able to focus a little bit heavier on that, and also focus on these guys. So I wanted to, this is really hard, but I wanted to,
where am I at?
I wanted to focus on myself, but also the team. So I did step back a little bit from that, but I know for a fact that, anything still going on in Pocono, and even our local stuff, Club Loose, and just any of the local tracks, like we're out there trying to make a difference. We have Rich, at Club Loose all the time, trying to spread a message. So those are I appreciate you. You're always such a wordsmith and very kind, and I appreciate you. And we all, we love you very much.
Thank you guys.
No, thank you. So thanks for coming on.
James.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you taking it. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on here.
Dude, I was
definitely love you like a brother. You're a good dude, and I'm happy you took time to come on and talk to people about your stupid low car. And I just really, really appreciate that, man. I really do.
It was a pleasure. Chad, James, Damon, you guys are always so nice to me all the time. So I'm pumped to have been able to come and chat with you guys and say the silly things that I've experienced and all that, and continue to be a nice channel for the people that look up to you guys, because you guys are sick, dude. You guys drift. You guys drift well. You guys fucking rip, and it's tight. And people should be looking up to you as an example and as a model.
You're super kind.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, bud. So, Juan, we're going to be ending the podcast, but you can basically stay on. We'll be back into the green room, so you don't have to leave. Everybody in the chat, thank you for coming and hanging out. Again, this is going to be one of the first. This is going to be the first episode to be able to be streamed with just audio. So I'm pretty excited about that. Got to figure that out, but we'll be able to figure that out pretty soon. I'm kind of a computer guy. So fucking keys and stuff. So anybody that was picked out by Juan to receive your limited edition Car Shop Karoshi sticker, make sure you DM the Pile Up Podcast at Instagram. If you're not following us on the YouTubes, please do so. If you're not following us on the Instagrams, please do so. Albert says, drink your fucking water. And besides that, yeah. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys in just a minute here. But thank you, and we love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye. Everybody
Later.
say bye. Bye. Yeah, good one.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Why am I here again? What the fuck?